Just before we start, I just wanted to mention one thing quickly. Helos & Co. and Sporting Club Helos are independent missions. They're both run solely by myself. So if you could like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, it would mean the world. Check out helosandco.com. And without further ado, let's get into it. And they're just boys who grew up with, younger boys. But one of my mates, I got him to come in because they couldn't make it. We're filming a podcast. And I go to get the footage once the podcast is done. And the footage is just me walk in, sit down, ends.
Oh, no.
Done a whole 2-hour potty.
Was there a guest? Damn.
I was lucky, but so that guest, so that was last Wednesday.
Yeah.
Do you know Joe K football?
Yeah. He's playing in the match. Yeah.
So Joe and I are fairly close. So he came in on Wednesday, but then we were hanging out all weekend because I'm not sure if you saw the A-League had Unite round.
I don't follow much A-League, so
they're a bit at Magic round.
Oh, okay.
It was bad.
It's bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
But Joe and I went, but we filmed before it, and then we were together for 5 games on the weekend. And then we're it's kind of a blessing it didn't record because now we can just talk about the weekend, better flow. But yeah, it was pretty
Yeah, it's always when you got cameras and 2 mics, it's always is everything on?
Yeah.
You double check. I do it all the time with my content, so making sure, because there's been some moments where it's just oh damn, the mic wasn't recording, and then it's just I hit this. It was good information or a good line or anything like that. So yeah.
As a Tigers fan,
Yeah.
what news was better to you? The board stepping down, the whole board being dismantled, or Jerome Luai signing?
Oh, the board stepping down, 100%. Because as a Tigers fan, I've seen literally players go, coaches go, everyone went except for the board during that period of when they were around, and obviously nothing has improved until now we have to see if the board goes, which I'm pretty sure if the board goes, we play much better because I think but nothing was working. We had Madge as the coach. We've had players like James Tedesco, Josh Adokar. We had Pappenhausen in the juniors. We had all these players. We just never utilize them, and they're all premiership winning players now. So, we kept Luke Brooks for a long time. I like Luke Brooks, but I think he wasn't a fit for the club because there were just not many players around him that could play off him. So, we just had so many players and coaches come through, and the only thing that never changed was the board. And now that the board has changed, I'm pretty certain that burden is gone. And now it's I always believe in superstitions and curses and stuff. So I believe that is one of the curses that were on the Tigers. So I think that we're going to play a bit better.
What are the other ones?
The other ones is that I never go to Tigers games because they never win. I've never seen the Tigers win live.
How many games have you been to?
I can't even name them. I've seen them win once, and that was, I can't even tell. That was Heritage Round back in 2013, 2011, 2012. I went to Tommy Radonicus one that they didn't win. Obviously when he passed away, that was Leichhardt Oval. I went to Robbie Farah's last game. They didn't win. I went to the last time they were in the top 8. They were versing the Warriors at the old Sydney Football Stadium. And that was the last time they were in the finals. They didn't win that game. I can just keep going and on. Last year, round 1, Leichhardt Oval, brand new team, Happy Coruscant, didn't win against the Titans. I can just keep going. There was a period actually, I think it was when Ivan Cleary came in. I think it was his first year. I think it's when we had a really tough draw. We had Roosters round 1, then Melbourne round 2, and then we had the Bulldogs round 3. The Tigers ended up winning against the Roosters in round 1 from a pass. I think it hit Cheekham's head, and then it went to I think it was Corey Thompson over the wing, and it was the 78th minute winner. And they won against the Roosters when everyone thought, they're going to start off so bad. And then they went to Melbourne and beat Melbourne. And Melbourne were coming off, I think, a loss as well, round 1. I can't remember, but and they beat Melbourne. And then I was oh, sweet, this is the Tigers' year. So I went to the Bulldogs game in Campbelltown, and they played their worst game I have ever seen in my entire life. Jaden Ockenball, dismantled the whole Tigers team that game, bro. And the guy's, is he even in the league?
No,
so, I'm such a curse to go into live games. Like I really want to go, but I know that they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Like even everyone tells me, it's like, why do you go to games on such important games as well? That when Paul Gallen's last game and Robbie Farah's last game, I was like, should I go? It was a Sharks versus Tigers for the top 8 spot. I don't remember when it was, 2020, I think 20. I can't remember, but yeah, they lost that game. I can never go to a game and they win. Like I've seen them win once, and that was Heritage Round back in I was still in school. So yeah, but we'll see. We'll see how the year runs. I have good hopes for them. So yeah.
That Buller's a freak.
Buller's a freak. Yeah,
Like, proper.
Yeah, and I hope we can keep Tupou as well.
Yeah.
I hope we can keep him. But yeah, we're in good hands. I like Api Coruscant. He's a natural born leader and just a person that wants to win games. Like you need someone like that on a team. You know, you can see that he changes a team just by his actions on the field, like the way he talks and just the way he competes as well. It's amazing to watch. So you just need a couple of those players and you're sweet. Yeah.
I reckon current squad, and when you add Jerome in, if he takes them to top 8, it's pretty insane. Like
Yeah.
that achievement on his legacy as well.
Yeah. I think he can. A lot of people say, oh, like Jerome, he's in the shadow of, you know, Cleary and stuff. But I think he's like you hate him when he's not on your team, but you like love him when he's on your team because he's such like you just need that competitiveness, you know. He doesn't take it like it's not personal what he does on the field or anything like that. I'm sure he's a lovely. I've never met him, but I've been told he's a very lovely guy. So like it's just on the footy field, you need that sort of energy. It's 80 minutes you're playing, like just leave it all out there and show the attitude, you know, especially coming from a Penrith background where it's like, you know, like it's all like,
attitude.
It's all attitude, you know. It's like the same with the Bulldogs and stuff like that. And the Tigers, they have their history of the Balmain Tigers and Western Magpies. Like at least show that sort of culture that we had back then, you know. So
Dogs have lost it for sure.
Dogs have lost.
They're no longer dogs of war.
They're not dogs of war.
Bullied.
Yeah, they get bullied hard.
Yeah.
Like I see what they're trying to do, but like NRL, other sports, but NRL you can't buy a team. Like you just
Salary cap does that.
salary cap plus it just doesn't work like the way NBA works. Like you can't just get a player and then hope that it's, you know, improves the team. Like you can't just get you just can't get a LeBron and just put him in a team and all of a sudden you're making finals every year. So like it doesn't work like that in the NRL. Why Penrith are so good is because they've built up their juniors. They were playing together, all those you know kids, and that's why the chemistry's there and they just know it. Like it's just part of their game and they just love playing. It's the same with Melbourne with Billy Slater, Cronk, and Cameron Smith. They grew up playing each other, and that's your best spine right there. Like I mean, that's, you know. That's all it is. You can't really buy players in the NRL. It's a different sport. You know, so.
It's not like America.
Nah.
5 to an NBA court.
5 to an NBA or even NFL where like you can just bring in a better quarterback and that improves your team. Like you can't do that in the NRL. Everyone needs to play their role, and I guess your juniors are like your development squad is such a powerful tool like to have in the NRL. I believe like I don't know. You shouldn't feed your juniors away. You should actually develop them and give them a chance to play on the team. Because look at Buller, for instance. Like that's incredible. We let go of Pappenhausen. Like I mean, Teddy as well. Like these guys were our juniors as well. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens in the year to come. So I'm pretty excited.
Speaking of footy, we've got the charity match coming up.
Yeah, we do.
Excited for it?
I am. We've been putting in some training. We've got a training session tomorrow. Because we lost last year and I've been waiting a year for vengeance. So it's a different team. The whole team's revamped.
No Bernard boys.
No Bernard boys. So that's a big loss for you're on the MHF team. Yeah. So that's a big loss for you guys. Because every play came from them. So someone needs to step up. I think it's Trademark and who else is in the half? Josh. Yeah. So they need to step up because those plays were killing us down the middle. Like those passes, like they were just too quick because no one plays footy, obviously, in the charity match. They're all creators. Or on the level of what John Bernard and his brother were. So, like, to do that, it was just so quick. I was just like, oh, man, this is kind of getting, like, out of hand now. Yeah. Plus, we've had, like, a couple of injuries. We were missing a couple of boys from the start. And then we had injuries on the field, so we didn't have any subs. So it was a hot day. So we were struggling out there. Like, but now we're a bit more prepared. The SportShed TV, they brought in a few more players on the bench. It's like an extended bench. So at least like if there are injuries or pullouts, like you know, you've got some backups there.
I was there last year on the sideline filming.
Yeah.
And Fred and I both wanted to hop on. We didn't anticipate bro, there was just guys just dropping.
It was dropping. Yeah.
I think it ended up being like 11v11 or maybe like 12v11.
Yeah.
And even some of the boys out in the field were like on their last legs.
Yeah.
It was so hot last year.
It was hot and it was tiring because it was the inaugural, like obviously charity match, and you didn't know what to expect. You didn't know what the intensity was, but it's good to see that everyone loves to compete and everyone wants to win. So like now everyone knows that the intensity is pretty high, even though it is a charity match, but it's good to see good competition there. And yeah, we just need to be more prepared in the fitness level of last year and not kind of like, not put ourselves in a position where, I mean, freak accidents happen and whatnot, but like not put ourselves in a position where you might get injured. So, I mean, there were people that were just dropping because they were just rolling ankles, like, you know.
I remember a few. I won't say names.
I'm looking at you, Moses. I'm looking at you, you know, and some are getting bulldozed. But no, these things happen and it's all part of the game. Obviously, you know, like, you know, when you're signing up for this, you know, it's a footy game and you know what to expect. You might get injured, you might get hurt, but it takes a lot of courage. So I respect everyone that puts their hand up and, you know, has a crack on the field. So
yeah, I'm pretty keen to play this year.
Same.
I'm conditioned. I ran a half marathon last weekend.
That's good.
Yeah, so I'm keen to, because I'll be in the middle.
Yeah.
Chich is meant to be our 8.
Yeah.
I'm meant to be 17. But I think what will happen is me and Nilso will end up doing props, and then Chich will run off the back of us with Do Worry.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon that'll naturally just occur because he's too quick to be like in the props.
Yeah, I don't know why he's in props.
I think he
missed a few tackles last year in the middle. Mahmoud ran over him. There was a pothole there. So
you know the name that no one's like in the TikToks, like no one's really thrown out their name that I saw last year. Obviously, he can play footy. He's not very quick, but Blake Darlow.
Yeah, he's on our team.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what I was saying. Like, I was looking at your roster, and there's obviously like someone like yourself who knows what to do. But I was looking at Darlow. I was like, he's a bit of a handful.
He's a weapon.
Yeah,
yeah. Everyone on our team knows what to do now. Like we've had a few people that didn't understand the game. That's why we couldn't pack the scrum last year. It was kind of embarrassing. Like no one knew their positions, but now we are like far prepared for the game. Like we've got a good team. We've got Matty Georges is like hosting our training sessions because he obviously knows a lot about the game and everything like that. We had Mansour come down, so I mean, yeah, I think we're really prepared. So
yeah,
MHF better watch out.
I don't want to get my phone out, but I'm pretty sure I'll give you the inside scoop. We either have Josh Reynolds or JAC Fox coming down tomorrow night.
Oh yeah,
I won't be there, but apparently yeah. And we had Malachi, I think, of the first one.
I saw that. Yeah.
I've never played, bro. I won't even have trained before we get there.
Yeah.
So I'll still be one of the freshies. But I used to play AFL. So the tackling is like, I'll be sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding the ball and like not knocking it on.
Yeah.
But I was saying to the boys, I was like, look, like, because they're in the chat, obviously. They see like your content and then they'll share it and they'll be like, oh, like, they'll start talking. I'm like, boys, like, to be honest, most of this will go out the fucking window and it'll just be about completing a set.
Yeah. It would.
Yeah. And just like, also, don't forget, like, don't worry about like winning. Just remember to like entertain people.
Yeah.
That's what we're getting. Like.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought we were going to do originally, you know? I thought we were going to go out there and, you know, entertain and stuff like that. But I think when you're on the field, your competitive nature clicks and everyone just wants to win. And I mean, I was fired up. Like I was screaming at everyone and no hard feelings. It's just, I'm just a very competitive person. I hate losing. So waiting a year for vengeance, I mean, I'm hungry to get the win. So
who's your props? Darlow.
We got Darlow and Ados. Yeah, they haven't been training with us because they're in Brisbane. So they come down the night before. So we'll probably get a training session with them the night before the match.
Who else? Oh, you got Roasty in there as well.
We got Roasty.
He's a big boy, man.
He's a big boy. He's been conditioning as well.
Yeah. Who else is on your team?
We've got Matty Georges. We've got a couple of...
Matty Georges, I feel like a lot of people may not know the face. When they see him, you'll be like, holy fuck.
The guy's... He's a unit. He's a fucking unit. I wouldn't want to tackle him, bro. So, yeah. Who else do we have? So we have our backs. We've got a couple. We got the Vault boys. They're shoe brand guys.
Yeah.
They're two French guys. They're our secret weapons. So they played French rugby union.
What?
Yeah. So they got a French rugby union background.
What, top level French rugby union?
Not top level.
Oh,
but like,
bro, you scared the shit
yeah,
out of me.
yeah. So
That's fine.
we got an athletic sprinter. Like, I mean, we got a good team. So
Yeah. I think my game plan is I just got to take the wind out of people. Just come across, hit top ribs.
And just put them on their back, slow play the ball, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Did you play growing up?
No, I never played.
So last game was your
Last year was my first game. I played Oz Tag, but it's not the same. I've never played footy.
Yeah.
I always played basketball or tennis.
Yeah, right. So for those who don't know, you were born in Uzbekistan
Yep.
and you came to this country at the age of 2.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, so you played basketball, tennis growing up, but you also did parkour, didn't you?
I did parkour, yeah. I did parkour for 6-7 years.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, long time.
Did you go to Europe for parkour?
I did go to Europe for parkour, yeah. I went there for a trip. I just moved in like to an apartment with the two guys that I went to Europe with, and I was completely broke. Like, I had no money to go to, like, there was no reason for me to go to Europe, but like 19-year-old, just whatever, like just wing it. That was our motto, and we just went and just explored Europe, like sleeping wherever we can. I think I slept on every single surface you can think of on that trip, like rooftops, gravel, grass, libraries, sand, beaches, like whatever you can name. I slept on it just because we didn't have any like places to sleep. Like, we didn't book accommodation, we just booked flights and just went. Met people there to give us, like, you know, the parkour community is very it's very nice when it comes to that stuff. Like, if you go overseas, they'll lend you like a room or like a mattress or somewhere to sleep. Unfortunately, like, no one could give us a room for the first couple of like, some parts of the trip, but then we just met a few people over there and, you know, got a room and slept normally instead of like on like just different surfaces. But yeah, I did go to Europe. It was a fun trip, very memorable trip.
So on your like one of your first Instagram posts, Stora, did you ever meet up with those boys?
I met with a few of them. Yeah. I met with a few Stora boys. I met with who did I meet? I met with Josh, and I met with Toby. They were there was like a thing called the Fam Jam. It was back in 2014, 2013. It was like a massive gathering of like just parkour athletes in this one whole like gym area, and they were there as like special guests. Oh, and Callum as well. Yeah. So I met those three. Yeah,
it's insane what they did. Like,
yeah,
some of the stuff they did. Just
well, back then, yeah, it's like back then they were like naughty parkour kids, you know. But now they've matured and they actually like they're killing it at the moment. Like I still love watching their stuff to this day. Like, it's just nice to watch, to see how far they've come. It's incredible. Yeah.
I reckon the craziest video I watched of them back in the day, I used to love watching parkour. Obviously, I was a big kid, so obviously never got into it. But there was one where they were in maybe London or Newcastle, and there was like pillars sticking out of the water at like next to a wharf, and there was like 12 pillars exactly like 1.5 meters apart, whatever it may have been. And then they were jumping from, but you know how the pillars, they have like this grey like plastic cap on top of them. So it's not like jumping on like flat wood. They're jumping onto like a cap that only has like a little circle landing like this big, and they're jumping and then they're landing, sticking it. Or sometimes they'll just run across. That was the craziest one I ever watched. Yeah. They did some, and then Amsterdam, I remember watching them do some crazy stuff there.
They've just run amok everywhere. Like, everywhere they went, they've just found like ridiculous challenges.
Did they come out here?
Nah, I don't think they've come out here. I'm not sure. I haven't been in the scene for ages. I don't think they have. Maybe one of them has, or a few of them, but I honestly, I'm out of the loop on that stuff. I used to know a lot of that stuff, but now I don't know.
Yeah. So that was your first YouTube channel.
Dior Parkour, yeah. Could Dior my first name and then just Parkour. Yeah.
It was a mad first name.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say it's like the brand. I was like, yeah, spelt exactly the same. So yeah.
But you also didn't you have another channel that was like a prank channel or something like that?
I did. Yeah, that's like long gone now. That was like a prank channel with like just a few of my friends, because that's when I was like growing up and the Sidemen were popping off. So I thought, oh, we can do this. Like close friends, just make some stupid pranks or stupid like challenge videos. And so we were like, yeah, just doing a bunch of random challenges like bottle flip challenge, and then just eating Carolina Reapers. And yeah, it was not good. So yeah, so I just kind of followed that, but it didn't work out. It's not the same. Like yeah, you just because like they're your mates, you can't really make content with them. So it's just like a laugh behind the scenes sort of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you ever do like the old Facebook challenges where like what was one of them called? Ben and the other one's a bit too young, but do you remember like cinnamon challenge and shit like that?
yeah, we did that. We did like cinnamon challenge. So what we did was it was like a bottle flip challenge. So the last person to obviously land the bottle or not land it, right? Would have to take on a challenge out of like a hat, and then there was like cinnamon, like eat cinnamon, get waxed, get shot with a BB gun, eat a Carolina Reaper, like all this kind of like stupid stuff. Get slapped in the face with like I think it was like cream or something like that. So there was a lot of challenges like that. But yeah, it was a funny time. But obviously didn't work out. So
At what point did you recognize? So after that, actually, before we get to like Shak TV, what was Dior doing? Like, what were you doing with your life? And
I was just normal 9 to 5 job,
yeah,
basically. That's it.
did you think that would be your life?
I didn't want that to be my life. I tried like obviously like when you're in that position, you think, oh, this is what I'm doing, you know. But I just didn't want that to be my life because I just felt like I wasn't born to do that stuff for the rest of my life. Like I thought I've always had a creative mind. I just didn't know how to kind of showcase it to the world. Obviously, it's very hard when you're talented and you don't know how to obviously showcase that talent. So yeah, I was just pretty much 9 to 5 job, working, gym, and just the weekends were free. So that's pretty much like just an average person.
Yeah,
That's all I was. I can't say anything else. I didn't have anything interesting to say.
yeah.
Basically, that's it. Yeah.
And then, bro, it's 2019, right? That like you start kind of taking off, or at least the videos start going.
Well,
viral.
at least I start posting some videos, and then obviously during COVID, which was like a blessing in disguise because everyone's at home watching videos. That's when like the videos start to like kind of go up a bit. But 2019, I just decided just to release some videos, see how it goes, and just kept at it. Like didn't quite stop.
Yeah,
Releasing here and there, and then it became consistent, and I became like, oh, this is awesome. Like I'll just keep releasing, and then, you know, long story short, Shak TV. So yeah.
Yeah, where's the name come from?
It's just the first 4 letters of my last name, and then I just thought, oh, I don't know what else to put. I couldn't just say Shak, otherwise like I wouldn't differentiate myself with, you know, Shaquille O'Neal or Big Shaq from the UK. So I was like, oh, what should I do? And I was like, I don't know, I want to always be on TV. So I mean, Shak TV was just like, and then it flows good. Shak TV, and there you go. I don't know. There's no really interesting story or anything like that. I was just like, there needs to be something afterwards. So I was like, yeah, just pick that.
The first video. So like you're obviously posting. Obviously, the first few would have been like just kind of like normal likes, I imagine.
Yeah.
When what was the first one that kind of like took off and kind of took you by surprise, where it was like, oh shit, like that's actually a massive amount of people watching that?
Are we talking about like TikTok or like just in general or YouTube?
You're on TikTok before it kind of popped off, hey?
Yeah, I was on TikTok before I went to YouTube.
Yeah.
So yeah.
TikTok. What did TikTok?
Well, TikTok, the first video I popped off was there was a challenge going around. It was, you know, you'd go to the mirrors like, this is my first day in blah, 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 right? And this is the most rubbish video ever, and I cringe to this day at it, but it was, this is my first day, and 1-4 were popping off at this time. So I was like, this is my first day listening to 1-4. This is my second day listening. And it was just like,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And I was
didn't know that was you.
And then I was looking at it, and the numbers were just climbing. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I refresh, and it's another 5,000 views. And I was like, bro, this platform is
tapped. Yeah.
This is the
Crazy.
one. Like I might do what I want to do. Like this might happen. And I was just looking at it, and I woke up the next day to like, I don't know, it was like 150,000 views. I went to bed, it was at 30,000. I woke up, it's 150,000. I told my mates, I was like, look at this. This is this is crazy. Like, this is insane. I've never had this many people watch my stuff. You know, it's usually just my parents giving me a thumbs up and a like. It was 3 views. Thank you. So, but to have 150,000 people and like the comments were pretty positive as well. But looking back at it now, I was like, man, what the fuck was that?
Have you ever met the 1-4 boys?
Nah, I've never met him.
That'd be funny if you got a video done with them.
Yeah, it'd be pretty funny. I did something for their clothing when they were releasing their clothing thing. They commented on one of my things, but yeah, that was like ages ago. But no, I've never met him.
So that was the first one on TikTok.
Yeah,
but I remember, and I wrote it down, the Lebanese Harry Potter one.
Yeah, that was the one that really got attention of a lot of people. Like that was when the sort of the characters of like my characters developed. It was just from the Lebo guy, because I've always had the Lebanese character, like just always had him in the back.
People think you're Lebanese?
Some people do. Some people think I'm like from Western Sydney or some like, you know, like ethnic background, like Lebanese or whatever. But I'm actually Central Asian, can you believe it or not? Central Asian European. So yeah. But yeah, I've always had that Lebanese character because I've just always, like me and my mates, just Lebos are funny. You know, you always kind of like just quote them in a way, right? So me and my mates always like, oh, yalla cars, yalla, all this and stuff like that. And I always had a saying, it was just like, oh, yalla cars, what are you running under there? It's like, it was kind of like, what are you running under the car? Because they always loved their cars. I was like, how can I get that saying out? So I just was a Lebo the whole time. I was like, why don't we just do a video showcasing the Lebos of Sydney? And there was that one where, you know, every Lebo in Sydney. And then that's when the Lebo character came to life. And that's what kind of grew Shak TV in the first part. And then I was like, well, I have a lot of characters under my belt, so why don't I just like release them all? And then as time went on, more characters got developed, more characters got released. And obviously the Eshe, the Junkie, the Islander, Russian guys, Gopniks, like just, there's so many, like there's just a whole list of them. So yeah.
It's insane. It's such an insane story to watch unfold.
Yeah, it's just COVID blessing in disguise, because everyone was on TikTok, and that Lebo character is so significant to like Sydney and especially like Western Sydney. So yeah.
Did you ever consider the fact that we all grew up with Super Wog?
Yeah.
And then we didn't have
anyone else. When I first was doing the Lebo character, people were like, oh, you're copying Super Wog. This guy's not Super Wog, you know, give up, all this stuff. Like, it's just natural, but then it just all drifts away because people then just forget about it, and then it just becomes its own character. Like, because there's a lot of people like that, like, you know, kind of like gatekeep. It's like, oh, you can't do that because this guy's doing it, you know. But like, I'm doing it differently. Like Wogs and Lebos, they're different in some instances and stuff. So like, I just put my own spin on it. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, Super Wog, Chris Lilly, you know, they're all inspirations to myself and a bunch of other creators that are in the same sort of niche as me. Why not take a bit of inspiration of that and then put it into your own like little world that you have going on? So there's nothing wrong with that as long as you don't like straight copy them. I wasn't saying, yeah, your mum's dead. Yeah. Look at your head, or you know, all those famous, what a head, all those famous Super Wog sayings. Like, I just did my own thing. Obviously, a lot of people gatekeep and like, oh, you can't do that, but I didn't care, so just kept at it, and lo and behold, yeah, just to this day, still making characters and all that.
Chris Lilly. The thing about Chris Lilly was how diverse his characters were.
Yeah,
how he like properly nailed every single one of them. Is that like a big inspiration on you? Because you have the plethora of characters you have is pretty insane, especially from like the Eshe to the Lebanese to the Russian mafia.
Yeah,
to like.
There's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah.
And Chris Lilly was the same.
Yeah.
Like, what was it? Summer Heights High was what?
Summer Heights High was a massive one. They had Jonah, they had Jamay, they had Mr. G, and...
He had one other one, didn't he? Or was that it? Was it just
I think that was
three?
it. That was just that's a three.
But he had other
other shows, obviously, yeah.
Yeah. Is that like a massive inspiration on you to be able to... Is that the level you want to be at, I should ask, where you can nail such a diverse range of characters in the same setting?
Yeah, that's definitely it's very difficult because obviously when like you see movies and stuff, these actors trained at one character like for months before like shooting, right? They go like method acting, they try and get into the actor's mind and all that kind of stuff. For me, week in, week out, I'm a different character. Sometimes every day I'm a different character. So sometimes my accents may be off. I may like train a character more than another one, and I lose a bit of the other one and kind of have to get back into the rhythm of that one. So, but to get to that level, yeah, it's really difficult. But yeah, he was a massive inspiration. Like he was the one that sort of gave me the inspiration to start like a YouTube series. It was called Heads and Tails, where I did it exactly like how he did it, right? Is like characters and then following their storyline. Obviously some characters were better than the others, but yeah, it was just like sort of for me to kind of just see how the YouTube game works and just to put my own creative spin on it. And I enjoyed making those videos. It made me learn a lot about like sort of cinematography and, you know, filming, all that stuff, because I'm all new to that. Like I've obviously been filming for my parkour and stuff like that, but like obviously in a more cinematic point of view, like obviously train that. And yeah, I was very thankful for Crystal Lee to like kind of give that stepping stone in a way for me to like start my YouTube career. And then obviously I haven't put out a Heads and Tails video for ages because I went into other stuff, but yeah, that was kind of like the first sort of move into like a bigger picture of my content and my characters. So yeah.
With something I watched of yours, I think it was last night, like 1 a.m. I was watching it. Which fuck, it's funny. The parent-teacher one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you make something like that, so I grew up making, like my YouTube channel's still up. Like I had 2 before I did the brand or whatever. And I still make videos for people, like get paid to make videos. So my understanding of like cinematography, editing, video, like setting up video and planning shots is there. When I see you do that, it's quite amazing because I know you're having to plan the script somewhat to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And then you're having to get into every single character. How do you actually do it? Because I think I have an idea on how you'd make it happen, but how do you actually plan it out and how do you execute it as well?
Well, like the first thing is I get an idea and then I just like think, okay, like what sort of characters can fit into this sort of idea? First of all, how many characters am I willing to put into this like video? Usually like I try and like max out at 3 or 4, like anything more than that is just, it's a lot on your plate. Usually like 3 is good. 2 is like, it's like perfect. There's not much work, but like I obviously establish how many characters are going to be in the video. So let's say obviously that parent-teacher interview one, you'd need obviously the kid and you'd need a parent and then, or like 2 parents I had, and then obviously a teacher, but I just mixed it up. I think I put 2 teachers there, obviously a female and a male, just to like branch out the sort of lines and content. And then I'll just write like, for that one, I'll just write like scripts, like just like quick one-liners of like what to expect as an Eshe parent-teacher interview. Like it's like, what would he do? And like sort of funny little lines about like science projects. Obviously science can be the bong. Yeah. So that can be like a science thing. Obviously mathematics, and like you then just go down and just pinpoint the subjects, what could work, what couldn't. What my childhood was like what my parent-teacher interviews was like, and then put a spin onto that. What would the teacher say? So it's just basically just running off that and just putting it into like some sort of one-liners. Yeah.
Freshie's line made me laugh so loud.
I don't even remember that video, so I can't even like quote it.
It's like the teacher's like, he stole a kid's pair of shoes.
Oh,
yeah.
He
shouldn't have worn Freshies. Like.
Yeah, shouldn't have worn Freshies. Yeah, so just something like that is just like, I don't know, you just gotta, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think to myself, like, as I'm like a mad scientist, it just comes, and like, I don't know how I do it. Like, I just don't know how. Like, it just so happens that it just becomes what it is.
Can you get into character like quick?
Yeah. I prefer to have like, when people like look at me on the street, I was like, can you do the junkie voice? I kind of just like want to be in the character. Like I need my glasses,
the outfit's part of it. Eh?
The outfit is a massive part of it. It plays a massive role in a character. Like I like to method act as well. Like if I'm planning to do like a video, I'd like listen to music that corresponds to the character. Like I'd talk to him a little bit, act like him, just a little bit, just to kind of like make it easier on filming day. But obviously, if it's like a rushed edit and I need to get it out, obviously I won't do that. But like, I'll train like a Russian. Like right now, I'm like trying to train a Russian sort of thing because I've forgotten a bit of like sort of the little lingos and all that. Even though I'm Russian, but like you still need to kind of learn the sort of little things of it, so just to make it a bit better. Because I'm a perfectionist, so I need it to be done like right, and I want it done like properly. So yeah, but yeah, I can get into character like really easily.
What's your favorite character?
I don't really have one. Like I get this question asked a lot, but like every character has their own story. It's just they're all funny to like just do. Like I can't single one out. Like I just can't. Like obviously the junkies are probably a fan favorite of a lot. A lot of the Eshays are fan favorite of like a lot of kids. They're all like Islanders as well, Maori, Russian. Like all these characters are just like they all have their little stories, and I can't choose. They're just all different in a way. It's just
Your Bear Grylls one was insanely accurate.
it needs work. It could have a little bit of work, but that's one character that I always forget how to do. I always have to like try and I don't know, watch a couple of his videos to get back into the thing because
the voice is fucking hard.
The voice is hard. A lot of people don't understand the voice and the mannerisms of him are super hard because he does a lot of like breathing and it's over exaggerated. I still can't pinpoint it. Like there's one guy on YouTube that does it really well. But my voice isn't the best like out there. I just, I try and overshadow it with the mannerisms, the heavy breathing and the kind of like the exaggerations of the hands and what he would do. Like I think that is more funny than kind of getting the voice down packed. So, and he even liked it, my recent one on Instagram. Oh, really? Yeah, and he reshared it on his story. So finally got acknowledged after all these years. Yeah.
Is that your most famous acknowledgement?
I think so. I don't know, unless someone else
you shared it and you didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't really look at that stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
It's still pretty insane, but
it is pretty insane.
You grew up watching him.
I grew up watching him and I love Bear Grylls. Like if I could get like on a show with him, me act as Bear Grylls and him just being Bear Grylls, I think that would be hilarious. Because like the numbers show on TikTok and Instagram, it's a even though he hasn't been around recently, he does these like little shows and stuff like that. But like back then, Man vs Wild was like a huge thing on the Discovery Channel where you get on YouTube and you rewatch the episodes. So like a lot of younger generation don't know about him. Yeah. So I see some comments. I was like, oh, who's Bear Grylls and stuff, and then the older generation like they just love him because it was a childhood. Because when you're watching him, you think it's all real, and then when you grow up, it's like that's pretty. Come on.
Yeah. Have you seen the photos of like people in like populated towns, and then the town will obviously back onto some nature, and they'll take a photo on their phone of Bear Grylls filming like 100 meters away. But with Bear, there's other characters from British TV I reckon that you'd be good at. Jeremy Wade is something that would be insane to be able to do. Did you go out watching him?
I can't put a name to a face.
He's the guy who goes looking for the biggest fish in the world. You'd know him for sure. He has some of the funniest.
Jeremy Wade.
Yeah.
I'd have to look him up.
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I can do a Gordon Ramsay. Yeah. I did it on a MasterChef video that I did on YouTube. But yeah, I can do a Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, and then the other ones, I don't know if you'd be able to do the impression of them, but they were cult heroes as well as Top Gear. That was like one of the best shows.
Oh yeah,
that'd be hard to do.
Yeah, they'll be pretty hard to do, but
more because they were just themselves.
They were just themselves. There wasn't really like there's content there. I always see when I look at a character, I'm like, is there content there? Would people understand the sort of like things that they would do? Like Gordon Ramsay's a pretty easy one. Everyone watches Hell's Kitchen and the way he blows up. There's already content there. Bear Grylls is another one. You can just over exaggerate everything. So I always when I look at a character, I'm like, oh, is there actually content there, or am I just like, is it a one-off thing that I can just throw in a video and then out? Or is it like I'm going to develop this character and then put more videos out on it? So yeah.
With your junkie and your Eshay characters, did you expect them to like take on such a life of their own? When you first like came up with them, did you think like
no,
that's
I didn't.
like probably...
Because when you look at it, like who else has done like Eshay or junkie in Australia? There's no one in Australia that did that. Superwog did the Wog stuff. Chris Lilly did obviously.
Even Big Lesho only had like the Billy Smoker.
Yeah, and that was like an animated thing. It wasn't really like a on-screen someone else acting as it. So I was like, I took that as an opportunity, and I was like, this is like perfect. Everyone in Australia knows what an Eshay is, And like Junkie, like Dave Chappelle did his crackhead thing, and I just did my Centrelink like person.
Yeah, our crackhead.
Oh, our crackhead that's just over exaggerated, you know. So, yeah, I didn't know they were going to take off that, but there was something there. So it was sooner or later someone was going to crack that. And, you know, fortunately it was me to kind of put that on the map. So yeah.
Was there any characters that you've made that you thought would take off that necessarily didn't?
I probably won't remember them because they didn't take off. So yeah, they're like, I don't know. There were probably a few, like there was a few beach characters that I did. That was too close to Chris Lilly. So, I don't know. There was like a Jamaican guy that I did, but that was like a one-off. I usually do these characters as like one-off and then kind of like, the Russian one, obviously I had like videos planned for him, but then the war in Russia happened. So I kind of pulled that back. Like I had videos for him and I was like, well, this is not a good time to do it. So I just pulled it back.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people like the
forgot about that.
A lot of people like the Gopnik Russian. It's basically like it's a subculture in Russia. It's basically like an Esche, but far more fucking dangerous than an Esche. So in Russia, it's not really
so like street kid, like
it's a street hooligan, bro. And like they're not as much as like around in Russia anymore. I don't think they are. It's like a very old subculture, but yeah, they were like pure like squatters in like buildings and alcohol drinkers and like they'll rob you, they'll bash you, they'll do everything. So they're like far more dangerous. Like you look at an Esche and he's like, what are you staring at? You look at a Gopnik and that's the last time you look at a Gopnik. So yeah, they're far more dangerous when you go to like Russia.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you been back?
I've been to Russia. Yeah. I was there when I was 18.
Have you been back to Uzbekistan?
Nah, I haven't been there since 2003. I really want to go back though. I'd love to go back. Yeah.
Question, this may sound so ignorant. Was Uzbekistan, when did Uzbekistan split from Russia, or was it always its own independent?
No, it was when the USSR split.
So when you were like pretty young, hey?
I wasn't even around. Yeah, I think USSR was what, 1991, 1990, something like that when it split.
How old are you?
I'm 29. I was 1994.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you're just a few years after.
Yeah, I'm probably just a few years after. I think it was like 1991. I can't remember when it was, but that was split with all the other USSR countries.
It'd be cool if you went back to Uzbekistan. I liked your Europe videos. I went to Europe 2022, like Prague, fucking so subtle, but that cobblestone comment about like girls wearing heels and
I don't know if people like
Berlin, glass paint everywhere.
Yeah,
so accurate.
Yeah,
in like Croatia and Italy and shit like that.
Yeah,
nailed it.
A lot of like if you've been there, you'd understand it. But a lot of people didn't appreciate those videos, which fair enough. Got to chat more. What
was the?
I don't know. It just didn't hit off as much as the things as much as my Australian culture. Which like I want to like branch out my content because right now I feel like I'm very my content is very limited to sort of Australia, but I want it to be like a sort of worldwide. I want Aussies to kind of like I think Australia is very far behind when it comes to content. Like it's super far behind. I feel like our content creators, this is why the charity match is so good. I feel like our content creators keep to themselves a lot. I feel like we don't interact as much as what America and the UK does. And then when the time comes, it's like it's a bit too late. Like US and UK have already moved on to bigger and better things. But like you see the UK and they're like collabing every like 40 creators the Simon got on their latest one. Not just YouTubers, but like TikTok stars and Reels and OnlyFans chicks. But like it just makes the community so much better. I wish we had like now I'm not saying Superwog is wrong for this, but I wish like Superwog put a lot of people under their wing, like in terms because he's like the OG of sort of like YouTube and stuff, and it'll be nice to see.
Both of them were stars.
Yeah, they were stars, man. And I wish he like did more with like other like creators. There's so many creators out in Australia that deserve the recognition and the following and the respect they deserve. But I feel like we're just so limited here. As soon as you get to a peak, people like are just like whatever, like They just don't appreciate good content these days. Like it's all pretty like I guess that's the world at the moment. It's very like the attention span of a lot of people is like far beyond. Like it's just gone because it like TikTok. So like back then, like you'd have people watching 20-minute videos and stuff. So, but now it's just kind of like people have slowed down on that.
Yeah.
Everyone is like sort of like a creator themselves now.
Yeah.
Everyone vlogs their basic day. Everyone shows what they do, what they cook.
Yeah.
So like pretty much like everyone is like a creator these days, like because of TikTok.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But I think the skit niche is still very small. Like it's very, very like pretty small here in Australia,
110%.
especially on YouTube. There's not many skit creators out there on YouTube that are Australians. So yeah, it'd just be good to have like a lot
Who
of.
are some other ones?
You got Liam Dowling.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, you got
He's
Liam
fucking
Dowling.
funny.
He's a funny kid from Melbourne. You've got the Fairburn boys,
I remember when they were coming up.
and they've been around for a while. Yeah,
Be like 6-7 years now, I reckon, because I was in year 11 or 12.
yeah.
Because they cracked Facebook at the time.
Yeah, a
All
lot
those
of them crack Facebook. Yeah, you got well, you got Jimmy Jackson from New Zealand.
There's another one, that Facebook era.
Yeah, so a lot of them came, like Sushi Mango came from Facebook as well. So, but a lot of people like drifted away from that skit thing. I love skits. Like honestly, I think we should do more of them. A lot of people try and go into that YouTube phase of like Mr. Beast. It's like kind of like I don't know. I don't like that type of content, which is flashy, bang, 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 bang. It's just like I like to create a story and I like to watch a story. It just shows the more creative side rather than flashy bang 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 subtitles here and there and quick just to keep the people watching. Like, why do you need that? I think developing a story is like far better in terms of creativity than all that editing nonsense.
I've thought the same about podcast clips. When you have, and they've got like in a podcast, it's just me and you talking.
Yeah.
And then you got clips and there's like the swoosh sound and there's like bang and then there's
Yeah.
like this music over it. I did it a few times. It never sat well with me. Then I stopped doing captions, but then someone in real life told me, they were like, hey, can you have captions on your clips? Because I have hearing problems.
Yeah.
So I have the captions on, but when I do the clips, I notice that I watch clips more where I can tell they're just about to tell a story or they're about to say something interesting. And there's none of that like TikTok sounds on it. You know,
Yeah.
I find, for myself at least, it's a much more authentic experience. Whereas, like, you got all the like sounds and the pops and the slides and then the zoom in, zoom out.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it's a much more authentic experience.
Yeah.
I feel like in the long run, you see with like Rogan, like if he has a clip out there, like there's nothing added to it.
Yeah.
It's the number one podcast in the world. There's no hack to it. It's just the quality of guests and conversation you have.
Exactly.
But I feel like that goes across the board.
Yeah.
Like you try and watch a vlog now and there's just like so many things happening. And sometimes I just want to sit and
You just want to sit and just want to watch.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's where we're so far gone, like beyond that now. It's just like people just, as soon as it's just not interesting, but you haven't even given it a chance.
Yeah.
You know, make your verdict at the end. You don't have to like have flashy things to, it's like a pokey machine. It's like, why do you keep slapping? It's because all this shit's in front of your face. It's like, it's the same addicting feeling. Why would you watch like, you're going to spend an hour watching like a bunch of stupid TikTok videos with flashy edits and all that crap. Not remember one of them. But then why wouldn't you watch like an hour long or like even like a 10-minute video of like something interesting, a little story that someone will create, whether it's a skit, whether it's someone talking, with someone else, giving their insight on something. Why wouldn't you just watch that for 10 minutes instead of like sitting on the toilet for 10 minutes and scrolling through just garbage? Like I feel like we're just are not appreciated of what we have in terms of content. Yeah. Like there's so many good like content creators out there that provide value and it just doesn't hit or like doesn't hit the same as, what like just people put out, like disposable content, I call it, like just put it out there and whatever. Yeah. So I'm not going to sit here and say, I don't put flashy effects or captions on my clips. I do on some videos here and there. And obviously I have like effects of like zoom ins and stuff, but it just makes of like a movie. Yeah. It just makes for the shot basically, but it's not me doing all this flashy bang, 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 and then move on to the next one, bang, bang, bang. So I'm trying to balance it with the edits now. Like I've changed a little bit of the editing up to kind of accommodate for what's happening right now with content in terms of that sort of style. But it doesn't feel like me anymore. Like it just feels like I've just drifted away from that and become what society is now watching. And I don't like that. Like Casey Neistat had a good point. It was just like YouTube's not what it is anymore. It's like back then you'd watch vloggers growing up, 20 minutes, half an hour about their life. It could be the most boring video, but like you just interacted with them. Sam Sulek as well, the bodybuilder, he just talks in his car and talks in the gym. It's just like having something on there in the background, and just having that connection with that creator is, I think, matters the most than just scrolling and forgetting about what just happened. So yeah.
You mentioned earlier, to like backtrack a bit, how far behind Australia is. So I grew up watching in England, like the Sunday league culture is like a big thing of like beers on the sideline, blokes having a dart during the game, just dumb shit. I always thought when I was younger, bear in mind, I reckon I was watching that when I was 14, so that's 2014. This club called like SC Dons, that's like, so in England you can make a football club like there and then. You just need to tell the council you're hiring the pitch, sort all your kids, blah, blah, blah. You've made a football club. That, once you get like professional licenses, you can just start to climb up the footballing ranks. You start like 30 divisions down, whatever it is, but you can make a football club out of nowhere. Over here, it's not that easy. You need like, it's typical Australia, you need this.
It's a nanny country,
Yeah, but I always want, when I was like younger, I was like, oh, that'll be cool to do when I get to an age where I can manage something like that, have the necessary equipment, resources. Anyway, come to last year, and I was like, fuck, like still no one in this country has tapped into any sort of like AFL, NRL or football content on Saturdays and Sundays at length. I felt. So there was no like Saturday NRL bush bashing team like uploading a video of their like the funny parts of their game.
Yeah.
And then obviously putting those clips into TikTok to get people to watch the videos. AFL, there was a few boys that did it. Do you know Marmalade Boys?
I've heard of them.
They're heard of them. Both chubby. One's short, one's big, one's got a massive mullet. They go to the cricket and stuff like that. Know them if you saw them.
Yeah, I've heard of the name. Yeah.
But they kind of do it, but like they're fans of the game, right?
Yeah.
But they still uploaded clips of them playing AFL. Football, no one had done it. So last year I just started I have this thing called Sporting Club Helos, where it like is an avenue for athletes I know, where I go film, do like little vlogs, like insights that, I don't know. It's just unique stuff sport-wise because I always had an interest in it.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd create a branch off Helos itself, Sporting Club Helos. And on TikTok, I just did a pre- and post-game speech. And I always said, it's just got to be relatable. Because there was a method to the madness. People thought it was just random luck. It's not. I always knew Sunday League would take off or do well on TikTok. It's just a matter of, I've always got to make sure people are relating to it because that's what like they like. With vloggers, the ones I liked were not the ones I didn't really like Casey because I didn't feel like I knew Casey.
Yeah.
But there were some boys back in Australia. There were some guys in America. One guy that sticks out is like Justin Escalona. I don't know how I remember that name. And bro, I swear, he only had like 10,000 views a vlog. But I used to watch him, but it was relatable, right? And his editing style. So anyway, I used to do the TikTok. I'll show you, like, I still do it. But I can't believe my luck on the ability that I'm able to start like the YouTube. So that's like something like there. That's got, I think that was the biggest one. It's 370K.
Yeah.
That's been in there.
Mm-hmm.
Pete's Russian.
Oh.
So anyway, I just started up.
No, that's great. That's fucking good.
Yeah.
That's just funny.
But
it's relatable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to do like I want to film the games this year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to have one camera properly set up, and then I'm going to have someone on the sideline with like so say we score, they come running on like so a handheld, I should say. But I was thinking about it the other day, and now that you mention it, it kind of popped up again. I cannot believe my luck that I've got to the age of 24 and no one has touched it like that. Like in the UK, it was 10 years ago. America's been doing it the whole time as well. I was just thinking, like, when you raise that point, it's like we are that fucking far
We are
behind.
so far behind, and a lot of people don't understand that. Like, until you go traveling, like I know Aussies go fucking Bali every year, but like some go to Europe and stuff like that. But like, you've just got to go out there and just understand how like the world works and how far behind we are. Like we just like it's crazy. Like as a content creator, like you don't, as an average person, you probably don't see it, but as a content creator, you see it. You just see how far behind we are, like to 10% do this stuff. Like SportShedTV, and I respect them so much. Such small creators to create something so big. Like
it's insane, bro. It's insane. I would have watched the Sidemen first one. Probably.
Yeah. You saw how like, and the Sidemen one, when they started off, it was the same thing. It was like not many people there. Now they're filling up stadiums. So like, if you start now, in 5 years' time, like who knows where it's going to end up? You know, like we got to start now instead of like waiting until the trend happens. Like it comes to Australia, and then we start then, and even then we don't even continue with it. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just so far behind on everything, and we're such a nanny state as well that we're so limited to what we can do, like in terms of like film and industry as well. That's why a lot of people leave Australia and go find themselves like in America or the UK in terms of like film and TV. Like we just don't have the facilities, or don't have like, we choose probably the wrong talent. Like, you know, when was the last time someone from Australia came out on the big movie scene? Like, you know, or it's like actually the Raka Raka twins made that film
and got on Rogan.
Did
you listen to that?
I didn't listen to that, but that is crazy. To two YouTuber kids from Australia, that content wasn't sort of like that didn't fit the agenda of Australia, are now fucking killing it. And that's what I want to see more out of Australia, right? Stop fitting in your agenda and start like actually like having all these content creators, all these people that are actually making a difference, and actually inspiring people and making people laugh, right? To like come out onto the big stage and have like everyone around the world recognize them for that TV, for that film, and then be on Joe Rogan. That's fantastic, man. That's crazy. That is insane. You know, like, I mean,
I remember when they used to do fucking The Clown.
The Clown, yeah.
But I don't know if they made it, but they definitely popularized it. Is it Neck Nomination? Neck Nominate, where you'd be like, the craziest one I saw. The craziest one I saw was Nepean Bridge. So this guy sculled 2 VBs, took 2 pills of some sort, and off the railing. So Nepean Bridge, have you ever driven over it?
To be honest, no.
So it's just over there. It's just like the foot of the mountain. It connects the foot of the mountains to Penrith. So like the actual Nepean Bridge, like there's boats going in and under all the time. The boat ramp's just there. But it's like I don't want to exaggerate it. Safe guess is a minimum 10 meter drop. Minimum. I want to say like 12, 13. I've jumped off 10 before and it wasn't that big. Could be wrong. But this guy, and then he snorted Colombian powder.
Okay. Yeah.
And then he just did like a front flip straight off and missed the flip. But that was like, do you remember the Neck Nomination Challenge where they do
I think I vaguely remember where it's kind of like an absurd, like...
And then you nominate someone.
Yes. Oh, yes, Neck nominate him to do... Yes. Now I remember.
Yeah, the
Fuck, that's a memory you've just triggered. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. I'm actually going to have to go research that afterwards. Neck nominate.
The Raka Raka boys, they did like a fake one. Well, God knows with them, but I forget what was they had one of the boys that was always in their videos, but I can't remember his name. I forget his name, but he was always in their videos. And they did like this fake one, but people at the time it just caught the news that like it was a real one, and it sent Neck Nominate into like the oblivion. So I was young. I would have been 13, 14.
Yeah.
But I remember like all the year 12s and above at school, like guys that are like 18, 19 from the area, like they were posting some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like, crazy shit.
Fuck.
It was just because Raka Raka made this fake one that went viral on YouTube. And they're the goats, man. They're the goats.
They are the goats,
and they're from
man.
fucking Adelaide of all places.
Yeah, bro. So like, and they're fucking creative, man. They're so creative with their shit. It's actually so like, it's so insane to watch. That's another like inspiration that I've, those twins, man. And to see them fucking succeed like that is huge, bro. Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Did you ever get to the movie? Because I haven't gotten to it yet.
I've seen a few clips on TikTok, but I don't want to ruin it for myself. I like if I watch it, like it's funny because I don't like watch movies unless I'm like in the mood. Like the mood could be fucking any time of the year, bro. Like, but right now I'm just not in the mood to like watch TV shows or things. I just don't waste my time on that stuff. Like people would go home and it just reminds me of my fucking 9 to 5 thing. I'll just go home and just watch movies. I like to just either I'm like writing scripts or, you know, just doing a bit of research and stuff like that, or playing games.
Yeah.
Which I know it doesn't sound good, but like I just escape the reality of that. But I just don't watch like TV shows or anything like that. Yeah.
I need to watch it. I hardly watch movies, bro. People talk about movies. I got no idea.
Yeah.
Because I've always been like, my spare time I just kind of watch football, and that's enough. Like if you watch a 90-minute game, like,
yeah.
But I've been meaning to watch it because I watched Shutter Island the other day, and I was like, fuck, like I really want to watch a scary movie. And I was thinking, I got to get around to it.
Yeah, I got to get around to it as well.
Bro,
I got to just get into the mood of
proper
it.
directors and whatnot. It's
Yeah,
just
bro.
insane.
I actually the guy I was on a commercial with Sydney Water, and I met the cameraman who actually filmed it for them. So
that's sick.
Yeah, that was like
What were you doing for Sydney Water?
I was being an eshay. They needed an eshay, which Sydney Water is fucking great for that, to have an eshay.
Good
socials, man. Like, why don't these brands like use these sort of like characters, man? This is amazing. Like, you want views? We'll fucking get you views, bro. Like, see what we can do. Like, I mean, it's crazy. Fucking, yeah, but that was a funny experience, yeah.
At what point, you mentioned like you just collab with Sydney Water. At what point did you quit your job? Like, where were you at?
It was like 3 years ago. It was when I looked at my YouTube statement and I was like, fuck, man, if I can make this much, bro, this is on par with what I'm making right now.
Yeah.
And
I'm doing what I like.
I'm doing what I like, but I'm not working like every day. I don't have to work fucking every day for this paycheck. So I can even like take some days off. And I was like, told my boss, man, fuck this, bro. Like, here's my 2 weeks notice, bro. It's like, oh, you leaving now? Well, like in 2 weeks. It's like, oh, you don't want to stay for an extra week? I was like, nah, man. If it's now or never, brother. Like, I got to take the plunge. Like, and I'd never look back, and I hope to not look back. So I hope to not fall in that safety net again. So I do whatever it takes. Even though times are tough right now, but like, yeah.
Yeah. Do you manage all your own stuff?
I manage everything myself. I do everything myself.
How did you find going into the industry?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's all new. I'm still learning to this day. It's just my girlfriend is the one that films for me, but I pretty much do everything. I write the scripts. I like edit. I tell her where to stand and what shot I want. Pretty much directing, producing, script writing. Everything is me. Yeah. I look. I can get someone in there, but I have my own style and I like it. I don't have a brother or a sister to bounce ideas off. Never had that in my entire life. Like Superwog, have them two to bounce off. Sushi Mango, have 3 of them to bounce off. Yeah. I wish I had that. I unfortunately don't have that, so I have to just make do with what I have, basically. So yeah, it's just, again, mad scientist. I just kind of fucking everything just falls into place. Like, I start with the script and it just happens to go through the full production. Yeah, some days are better than others. So
yeah, I saw you mention on the Gio Valentino podcast that you did.
That was ages ago. Yeah.
Is he playing this year or not?
No.
He's a big boy, man.
He is a big boy.
Yeah. I remember on that one you said like being an only child kind of influenced all these characters, and in some way, correct me if I'm misquoting, but like you'd been doing the characters for years by yourself.
I have,
like, in the mirror.
Yeah,
it's a pretty crazy thing to like.
Pretty much, yeah. Most of the characters, I've just been doing it like in front of the mirror. I just never had. I was a very shy kid growing up. I'm very introverted as well. I don't like sort of like a lot of crowded places and stuff. Still get social anxiety, stuff like that. But whenever the camera's on, I just love performing. That's one thing I love. The thing about me is like I love sort of performing and doing all that stuff, but I hate the fame that comes with it. I don't enjoy.
You dealt with it well last year at the charity match.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did, because I keep myself composed, but I just don't like the fame that comes along with it. Yeah. I kind of like growing up, I was just an average kid, just doing whatever. But obviously now, like the fame, obviously people get. I'm not gonna brush off anyone that wants to take a photo or anything like that. I happily take a photo with thousands of people if they're lining up. Like, I would never brush anyone off. But it's just, yeah, I just like to have my own personal life. That's why I never like showcase my personal life. Like I don't vlog my thing because that's me. That's who I can be. Everything like on camera is basically an act and what I do. I don't, there's nothing else beyond that. So yeah.
Bro, it's fucking weird to me. I remember last year I had someone ask for a photo. Like for me, bro, I think I bought the guy a beer because I felt like an obligation to I felt an imposter syndrome take over me straight away. I was like, first of all, like we're at a Panthers game.
Yeah.
And I was like, first of all, like it's a bit weird. You want to not weird. That's not the word, but
I understand. I get what you mean. Yeah, it's yeah.
Like I'm not a big content creator, but he'd watched all the Sunday League videos, and he goes, "Bro, I fucking love them." And everyone on a Sunday waits in the group chat for whoever sees it first, sends it in.
All it takes is like one person to like make their day. Honestly, like, and when that person sees you, it's kind of heartwarming to be like, you changed my life or whatever. Like, because you may not be the biggest creator, but if there's like one video that people like people. People are going to be people. Like they're going to love something or they're going to hate something, bro. You know what I mean? And for them to like love one bit of your content, it's actually, you should be like pretty proud of yourself to kind of be in that position. Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know how, I'm going to ask how you felt, but for me straight away, it was I just felt like this wave of imposter syndrome. And I bought him a beer out of like almost like a guilt. To like, I feel like justify like him getting a photo, but I didn't have to. He didn't care. But I was like, oh, bro, I didn't know how to deal with it. And then I was at the A-League the other night, which is peak for where the sporting club stuff goes.
Yeah.
And like grown men, they come up and they're just like, hey, bro, like seeing your shit, love it, keep doing you. A lot of guys, I think you've probably got this as well. Older blokes, or like I find blokes in their 30s, 40s, even 50s that see the stuff. They're like, bro, no matter what you do, don't give up because I wish I did it. That's something I've copped a fair few times. But I had like a fair few young fellas come up and ask for photos. And even now, still like I don't know, bro. It's just this wave of imposter syndrome.
Just embrace it. It's like, I remember my first time, I was sitting in Mad Mex, bro. And the guy was like, oh, I love your shit. You're doing the area proud. You're doing the area proud. And I was like, I'm not even from the area, but thank you. It was like the first time I was just like, wow, this is pretty surreal. And then I went to a charity match. I had a soccer charity match actually.
Seen it.
Yeah, just the other day.
Poor Olin, bro, did his other fucking.
Bro, I felt so bad for Olin because I called him out to the game. I was like, man, they're short on numbers, or like I was like always pestering him to like come and, well, not pestering him, but I was like saying, oh, you want to join? They've got a couple on like numbers, pull outs and stuff. And he's like, yeah, I'll pull up. And I just felt so bad. Like I felt like fuck, I dragged him into this, and I hate to see that happen, bro. Especially like a good friend like Olin, man. He just recovered from his other one as well.
That's what's insane. It's not the same one.
It's not the same one. I heard that shit pop as well, bro. I was like, man. I look back and it's Olin's on the ground. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, man. Not. I thought it was the one that he did, and when it was his other one, I was like, oh fuck, man. Just. Someone doesn't like your legs, man. But I guess things happen for a reason. I always think so. Something positive is probably going to come out of it. So there's always something positive.
You know from parkour the sounds of like the injuries.
Yeah,
I found from playing. It sounds so weird, but you can tell when you're in a game what something like when's like something. Oh, how do I describe it? I can tell when someone's dislocated or broke, but like just the sound of it's close enough to
which
is insane to say after a certain amount of time. But yeah, when an ACL or something goes,
it pops, bro.
Yeah,
it pops,
and it's the worst.
It is. You look back and it's like, what just happened, bro? And it just pops.
Yeah,
it just pops.
It's
like I can't explain. It's just a pop, and then it's just. I can't imagine. Knock on wood. I haven't obviously done my Achilles and stuff, but I've had a couple of injuries. But I just can't imagine. That sort of like injury, like it's especially for like guy like Olin, he's only 29 years old, so it's like it's not nice. So
you got out of parkour unscathed.
Yeah, I've had a couple of injuries.
Yeah.
The main reason I quit parkour was because of my back.
Yeah, right.
My back was really, really bad. It was bad. Like I came back from Europe, and that's when like I think I just overloaded my back. Just tried conditioning and stuff, and then found the gym, and then kind of just drifted away from parkour. I was like, well, parkour was just a hobby. It's quite hard to make job out of, like back then it was quite hard to make a career out of it.
An entertainer at the same time.
Yeah. So it's kind of like it was just kind of hard to make a career out of it unless you're like, you know, people like Stora Boys, like Dom Tomato, who's a good friend of mine, sponsored by Red Bull and stuff. They're now considered like athletes these days, because it's now been considered as like a sport, you know. So Red Bull would go onto it and sponsor these athletes. But back then it was just a hobby. Like whatever you do, you wouldn't go far beyond that. You train and train. I know people that are still training to this day that I grew up training with. So I was like, fuck, how can you keep doing that, bro? Like, I mean,
how are your knees going?
Yeah, how are your knees going and shit. It's like, you know, fuck. But for me, it was just like, yeah, it was just a hobby, and there was no career out of it. I just moved on to other stuff. Like life just took over, I guess. I just started hanging out with my mates. Girlfriend then came along, uni, stuff like that. Like just life just happened, and then, you know, just moved on. I guess it's just a hobby, and I'm pretty like grateful for it. I met a lot of people, traveled the world, filmed stuff. That's when I first got my like first hand camera, and I was like, oh, this is mad, you know. First made my YouTube channel, so yeah, I guess, and it kind of like as like a shy kid growing up gave me a lot of confidence because. Yeah, it's a sport that you wouldn't really recommend to your kid, but like it's a good sport to have in terms of mental and physical strength. It's super sport. Yeah. Not a sport even. It's like a way of movement, I call it. Yeah.
It's insane, bro. We had a few boys growing up that did it in the mountains.
Yeah.
And then they eventually just got.
I think I know a few of the boys in the Penrith thing. I can't remember the names though. Yeah, fuck, I forgot what their crew was called. Do you remember what their crew was called? No. I think we just called them Penrith boys. They used to come out to the city, right? Yeah, and we used to sometimes people would come and train in Penrith.
It's crazy to me.
Yeah, but I can't remember the name. That's bad. I don't remember the names, but yeah, it's a grown sport movement.
Yeah, you know what? I just remembered. When I was like younger, I used to be in abandoned buildings so much. Like I used to love.
I love that shit,
bro.
I want to start that up again, but
that era of urbex. Well, Spaniard did it well, bro.
Yeah.
But up in the mountains, so we had a few places. So we had an old the Bahrainian royal family owned a castle, and that castle was in Falconbridge, like on the high. You haven't been in the mountains, so it doesn't really make sense. But it was from you have the highway, and the train line runs adjacent to the highway.
Yeah.
Up the mountains. And then at one point in Falconbridge, instead of houses or whatever, mate, or bush being on the other side, it opens up to this big farmland, overgrown grass everywhere, four-wheel drive tracks, and there's a castle at the back of it. And the castle was like derelict as fuck by the time, like it'd been abandoned for 20, 30 years by the time we got there, longer. But the pillars still stood, and you could tell what the castle was like. And then there was pools that had their old pools where there was cars all in it, like stacked on top of each other, crazy shit. And then there was rooms where you'd open up, so there'd be like a what's it called? Like a underground
trapdoor sort of style.
Yeah, so you lift the door or like the lid. I just want to say that word.
Yeah.
And you'd lift it up and you'd look in, and there was one room where there was paintings down there, but there was no way out of it. Like we'd put torches in, there was no way out of it. Shit like that fascinated us. So that was our first one because we always knew where it was. Went there on mountain bikes when we were like 14, 15. Next to it, funnily enough, was this old factory that just got built there by like some job to do. And then it got abandoned and skaters took it over. So by the time we all got there, it was just old skate ramps and shit in there. It's a pretty cool spot. All graffiti everywhere.
Is it still around to this day?
No, it got bought out private. Of course, it got bought out private property. Yeah, by rich people.
Yeah.
They buy that castle. But up in Wetmo Falls, so there was a mental health hospital. The abandoned mental health hospital it's so far off road as well, like 5 kilometers down like a long stretch of like road that's covered in fog for like 9 months of the year. It sets a setting. But we got comfortable going in and out of there. I think Chilling filmed a video up there. Spaniard might have gone up there as well. But that was mental health hospital or vice versa. No, tuberculosis, which was like kind of, it was a pandemic essentially. but it was harder to catch, but it was far fucking deadlier.
Yeah.
And then they turned it into a mental health hospital. So there was stories attached to that place, like everywhere. I went to a school called St. Columbus. Massive fucking school, stands like the core part of school, sandstone. And it's not a building, not abandoned St. Columbus. It's fucking top of the line for the mountains. But it was an old priest monastery. And the stories that came with that was pretty crazy. So that was like my introduction to abandoned buildings. So eventually I just found it out where more were. And I went down to Balmain one day and we bumped into a few junkies in there, the old leagues club.
Yeah.
But there was boys practicing parkour in there and that was pretty insane.
Yeah.
And then Alexandria, I think back in the day as well, there was Alexandria.
Dunlop factory.
Nah, different. So you had the tram factory, the tram shed,
Yeah.
Dunlop factory, but then we found an abandoned bank.
I did go in an abandoned bank once as well. Not going to say where it is, but like, yeah, it wasn't Alexandria though. But
Where
yeah.
was it?
I don't want to say on camera, but yeah.
So did it have, so the car park was ground floor and then elevators into it?
Nah.
Yeah, so ours was like, so you can imagine like on the road, you drive under the bank, you have elevators into it, and then it's a massive floor around, and then a top floor as well that you'd go up. And there was guys that would jump from roof to roof to roof. And that was pretty insane as well.
Yeah. I have a lot of fucking stories as well about it. I love urbex and I'd love to. I actually made a separate channel. I haven't put anything on there at the moment, but it's called Shak Rec. Like instead of Shak TV, Shak Rec, like record. Yeah. And it's basically just like I want to go back into that sort of urbexing era that I used to know and love and just explore places.
I'll
obviously,
go with you, man.
Honestly, if there's a crew that we can get, bro, I'd fucking go like places, man. And I just love exploring. There's obviously, we're so limited now because a lot of the places that I used to enjoy going into are now obviously built, revamped, and all that kind of stuff. But
the one I never got to, do you know? I call it the Mazda Road. You know, Wollongong, like that road, that highway along the cliffs.
Mm-hmm.
Off that, near Stanwell Tops, is an abandoned Coca-Cola factory. And that had like towers, but that's like full security.
Yeah. There's been some where I was just like, we can talk off camera as well afterwards, but like, yeah, there's been some where it's just like fucking alarms going off.
Yeah, I've
you're running, bro. We've had one where we tried to get in 8 times and we've lost 8 times. The place, you can't get in the place now anymore. It's thing, but like, yeah, bro, like I've had even when I went overseas as well. This is a story I can tell. So I went overseas and I went to Germany, Berlin, and this is not Berlin, Munich.
Yeah.
So this is where the gathering was, the massive parkour gathering, the fam jam, whatever you want to call it. So there's a lot of trousseaux around parkour, people who do parkour. And
wait, what was that word?
Trousseau.
What's that?
It's a person who does parkour. It's actually the actual term. Yeah. So, so it was me, my mate. So me and my 2 mates that came from Australia, and we had a local, obviously, and there was like 2 kids, 13, 14 years old. And so he took us like just around at night because we were standing in this massive gymnasium, and there were people just intense, people sleeping on mats, and we just like walked the streets of Munich one time, and there was like an abandoned, like not abandoned, but it was a construction site.
Yeah.
Don't go on construction sites. Anyway, so we went on a construction site, went on the top floor, mad view, and then there was like styrofoam, and being 19-year-old kids, I wouldn't do this now, but like we just chucked styrofoam off the building and watch it just like glide like a plane. Yeah. It was just like really fun to watch, and the roads were empty, completely empty, but like we then put the styrofoam, and this is so stupid, we put the styrofoam on the road, and then obviously a car rode past, stopped, and we were like, oh shit. So we took the styrofoam off, car drove past, and I think about 5 minutes later, as we're like just hanging around this construction site, these 2 guys rock up, and the Munich local, he was like, we have to run. This is undercover police. Yeah. And then we're like, oh shit, where do we run? Because I don't know the area. Yeah. So me and my mate and this local bolted. My other one like kept to the side, and the kids ran off as well. And these 2 German undercover police were screaming in German, and I've never ran so fast in my life. We're running down this empty street. Germans are fully on our tail, and we turn this like corner into like a sort of like an industrial park, and there's a fencing there, and where do we go now? Fencing's got fucking spikes on it and shit. It's like, where the fuck do we go? We can't go back onto the road. Anyway, shit you not, like a fucking movie, this fucking BMW undercover cop car with his flashing lights just screeches around the corner, starts driving up to us on this driveway. My mate's like, fucking hit the bushes, bro. We fucking hit the bushes. I'm arachnophobic. I don't know how I managed to go through like a fucking like 10 meters of bush, bro, just straight through, plunge onto a highway, right? And just cross this fucking 7-lane highway, cross the other side through more bushes, and just somehow ended up back at the gymnasium and like puffing out of breath, like get back in our tent. Next day we were caught anyway because my mate had an afro, and that's how they established him. And I was like, for fuck's sake, it's like you're a mate with the afro, we know him. And then we were so scared though, 19-year-old kids coming up to German police, bro. The 2 kids got caught and they ratted us out. Otherwise they wouldn't have known to come to the gymnasium. So the 2 kids that were with 13-year-old kids, obviously they can't keep up. Yeah. They got caught and they were scared, crying, so they ratted us out. They're in the gymnasium, blah, blah, blah. But my other mate just rocks up to the tent after like 20 minutes. It was like, where the hell were you? It's like, bro, I just walked away. Like, I don't know. They didn't even chase me. I was like, well, you're fucking lucky, aren't you? So, yeah, but next day got caught. Yeah, that's a story I can cherish forever. But yeah, fucking urbexing is such a, I love it.
Bro, I'm pretty
fucking
sure
love
that
it.
mad spot next to the Central burnt down last year, did it not?
The building.
Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about with all the graph on it.
Yeah.
Did that get affected in that fire? Do you know?
I think so.
Bro, I thought...
I think that fucking gone down. Yeah.
I'm not laughing at the situation, but bro, when I was like 16, we like heard like, oh, like there's this mad spot next to Central. Bro, we thought it was heaps etched to like go to like the 6th level where the rooftop with all the graffiti was. We got up there and we're like pretending to like sneak in and shit. Someone's like, I remember, bro, never forget it. Someone looked me dead in the eye and goes, bro, what are you sneaking in for? It's fucking open to the public.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh shit, thanks, man. We were just walking around, bro. We thought we were like mad urbexers. We went other places. See, I kind of mix it in because believe it or not, I used to be into cliff jumping. Not at like extreme level. My mates ended up being able to do like gainers and whatnot. I think like the highest he's done is like 16 meters. But I think my highest was 10. But yeah, I ended up getting into that aspect yeah, because bro, I just wanted to explore.
Yeah.
Because I came from the mountains. So I grew up, when I was like 12, 13, got given like freedom by my parents. We'd always go bike riding in the bush. And then eventually that gets boring to a young fella. So you're like, fuck, where do I go? But abandoned places always intrigued the fuck out of me.
Always for me as well. I loved it. It's not even like I don't even go there to graffiti or smash the place up. I leave it how it is. I just love exploring that shit.
Yeah.
Like the old Dunlop factory in Alexandria was mad to fucking like to have this photo. I think I have it. You know, my mate took this photo and it was the top floor had holes in the roof. And so when the sun shines, you just see these holes.
I've seen those photos.
Bro, and my mate took this photo and I was like, fuck, that looks so sick with the graffiti on the background. And like, I was mad. There was also like the asylum center in I think it's Lilyfield. There's an asylum, mental asylum center there. Been in there, shat myself, ran out. Then there's like the old hospital in near St. Where was it? The old hospital in like Camperdown Way.
Yeah.
Been in there a few times.
See, bro, in my head, I know everywhere, but I never, because I was too young. By the time I got my P's, I wasn't really into it.
Yeah.
But I remember like, because there was like forums online.
Yeah. There's a Facebook page. I'm part of that Facebook page. The Sydney Explore. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that back in the day as well. The famous photo of like the tram sheds when the sun would hit it.
Yeah. That was nice.
Bro, I'm pretty sure they've done it up for like events. Have they not?
They're all cafes there now. That whole tram sheds things. Yeah, it's all cafes. It's doesn't, all of these places no longer exist. The ones that I've got, Dunlop factory, I think the old hospitals, like they no longer exist. They're all done up, and it's hard to find them. You've got to kind of like know a few people, and like a lot of people don't want to trade their info around, or they're like out like west now these days, like sort of, or like down like towards like Mittagong Way and all that shit.
Yeah.
So there's a lot there. So
down south,
up north, yeah. It's hard to find them in the city now. There used to be heaps until people realized, there's opportunities here for developments, and then obviously capitalism happened. So basically, they're all gone now.
You should write a list down, man.
Honestly, I'd be like, whoever like wants to go, we'll fucking.
You know who we should
get
talk
a crew.
to not next week. It's in 3 weeks. Jake, Spaniards guy.
Yeah.
And just go, what did you visit, and what do you know of?
Yeah.
And then I'll put an Instagram story up, because I still got boys that like I met in that like era. I still have on socials. We all live our own lives, very different. But there'd be boys that I know would be like, I'll come. There's one guy who I follow, still interact with. I haven't seen him in like 6 years. He lives around here. But I know if I put a story up and asked him straight away, get his camera out, I'd be like, yeah. It just made you happy. Like,
it just made, like, it's a legal freedom. You know Shai? Do you watch Shai on YouTube? Nah. He's a Eastern European bloke. You should fucking watch him. Yeah. I would love to go and fucking urbex with him, bro. Like, he obviously covers his face. You don't know who he is, but like, he's urbexing, bro. Like, I fucking love it. He calls it illegal freedom. It's what it is, right? Illegal freedom.
How do you spell it?
Shiey. I love watching. He's probably like my favorite YouTuber out there. I just love it. I love that sort of illegal freedom, because you don't get that shit anymore.
Yeah, I remember him. He did the space.
He did the Chernobyl, bro. He did that. He did a lot of like World War II silos and shit.
Yeah,
he's done heaps, bro.
I've seen one where he's in like a space thing. I'm going to go to
probably space shuttle or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Safe houses. Yeah, they ring a bell. Chernobyl were his big ones. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
I want to get back into that stuff, but obviously here in Australia, it's such a nanny state. Like, you got to like, fucking, you know.
But bro, some of that stuff, like the bus surfing, the fucking nuclear bunker.
Yeah, bro, it's really crazy.
Recreate.
There was also another guy.
Secret Space Search Station is the one I remember. And that's also obviously the Soviet.
I've watched all of them, bro.
See, you'd probably be fascinated by that, because it's like,
I love the Soviet era.
Yeah.
I would love to go to fucking back to Russia and just like look at all those fucking buildings, man. There's so many there.
Yeah, when they're trying to
so
compete
many.
with the
Here
US.
it's fucking capitalized to the max, bro. But there aesthetically it's so cool.
Yeah,
it is so nice. There's also another guy. He's no longer exists. He hasn't posted a video, but he came up on my TikTok. Someone reposted one of his things. I forgot what he was called. He also did stuff. He never showed his face. It was always front camera.
Another one I used to watch is Ali Law, Ranger from England.
Ali Law.
He actually
rings a bell.
Yeah. He had like a thick accent. He got on top of London Stadium. Yeah, but he did in Central Coast, CBD, Gold Coast, South Coast.
I've heard of him.
He does cranes. That's his shit.
Oh yeah, I've done a crane once. I've done a crane twice, and I
hate
look at it and I'm like, fuck, I don't know how I did that shit. Like, I had mates that would monkey bar the fucking cranes, bro. I had mates that would walk along the thing. I've got a mate that, he does that shit as well. Oh man, it's so fucking like my hands just sweat.
Yeah, mine are sweaty.
But yeah, bro, fucking honestly, I'd love to get that back into the urbexing stuff and fucking make it like a separate channel away from Shak TV and bring it back to like what I was back in the day. Like, I love that shit. Illegal freedom is like, it's just fun.
Yeah,
I fucking love it.
Right, I'd love to go along with you.
100%.
I'll film for you, but I'll happily join you.
Yeah.
I'm real bad with jump scares, but
that's all right.
like my brother does it to me. I'm full like we'll try and bash him, even though I know it's my brother. After a second, I just get people that I used to work at JB Hi-Fi at the back. I could know they were there, and I'd still struggle with it. But I'm all right with abandoned places. My only thing is I don't subscribe to a religion or anything like that, but I do believe in like the spiritual aspect of the world. My only thing is like sometimes some of the shit that some of the people used to go to, I was like, I don't know if I want to fuck.
Yeah, no, I don't go to. I only go to like abandoned places where it's just like there is no fucking demonic history behind it.
Yeah.
There's no. I don't go to like abandoned asylums anymore. There's no fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't like that shit because my mind is too creative. I then start to fucking panic and have anxiety when I'm in there. Because I went to the one in fucking in
Mitigone?
no, not Mittagong. The one in the inner city. But like, I went in there, and we go into the window, me and my two mates, and
Wait, what's this one called? Where's this?
fuck, it's in Lilyfield, bro. Like, it's I don't think it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
So it was a mental asylum. We'll go into the window, and apparently Ward 9 was the scariest. Right, Ward 9 was the scariest. Just that name, Ward. Right.
Yeah.
Ward 9 was the scariest. So like, oh, look, this is Ward 9. Get in there. I don't know if it was the wind or not. We get in there. We're like, it's just silent. Can't hear anything. And all of a sudden, I don't know if it was us because of we opened the window and the gust of wind blew in, but we just hear a slam on the door, like a door slam, bang. I was like, fuck this. I've never had such like goosebumps on my fucking arms, bro.
Real, bro.
And you
Something's
start
happening.
panicking.
Yeah.
And fucking, I'm the last one out of the fucking place, like, because I was the first one in, right?
Yeah.
So then, by order, it would have to go like that. So I'm rushing. I felt like someone was just running, like at me and about to grab my leg and pull out, bro. I shat myself and I never went there again, bro. Yeah. It's so scary. That sort of shit plays with your mind. Yeah, I don't like those possessed places. Abandoned places during the day, why not?
Yeah, during the day.
During the day, why not? At night, if you take me to these places, I'm like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. Something about the night, eh?
Something about a night just really triggers, yeah, fuck that. So
Yeah. See, my thing is like, if you gave me, say, of course I'd still be scared, but like, say you gave me a person standing in the woods, right? That doesn't, because there's something about like an ego, I feel like, where I'll arc up if it got to it. But in like the spiritual aspect, when you feel like, so at St. Columbus, yeah, may God rest his soul. I don't know, there was no name ever attached to it, but the bell tower is where you walk into the school, and there would be like a cold drift under it at night. Now, obviously, that could be just from how the wind fucking funnels out the archways.
Yeah.
But the rumor was the priest who jumped off there killed himself. Like the bell tower is like very high up. It's, I'd say 3 or 4 stories high in the air.
yeah,
But like decent size. The story is like that he's there. And then you have teachers, God rest her soul, she was my teacher, Miss Preston. She used to tell, so Miss Preston, she'd sit at the front of the classroom in her old age, she couldn't give a fuck. She was just, whatever, boys, like, I'm here for a paycheck. You just don't care about fucking modern history. And eventually Peter, who was one of her favourite students, Pete from the Sunday League video,
yeah,
Pete would just bug her and go, Miss, tell us stories. And then eventually she'd crack. And she told us one of parent-teacher night. So you have like the school, you have the archway. If I could I'll show you after the map. But you have like the school and it's sandstone building. And then it's in the middle, it's like hollowed out for like a courtyard. But at the end of the courtyard, you have a library. But that used to act as the old church, I'm pretty sure. There's now a new church at the front of the school. But she swore on it, like she was there after parent-teacher and she'd walked around. So you could walk around. The church was a semicircle essentially, and you could walk around it. And there was like you know how churches have those ceramic windows and it's coloured tiling or coloured glass, I should say, stained glass.
stained glass windows. Yeah,
Yeah, and they'd have obviously photo. It makes up like a picture of something.
Picture of like Mary or something. Yeah.
So we had a bunch of them, and she said, like, no, like after a regular parent-teacher night. So she's like, the school's fully illuminated. Everything that needs to be locked is fully locked because kid safety, like especially like parents bringing in like 5-year-olds and stuff. She's like, so the library's like fully locked down. Like there is no possibility at 10 p.m. when parent-teacher finishes at like 7 or 8 that there's anyone in the school. She goes, I was one of the last there because I used to just smack out work in one night, and that way the other 5 nights a week, I didn't have to do anything. She said, no word of a lie, that her and multiple other teachers experienced at that library late at night a fucking person press themselves up against the window and try and like contact.
Fuck. Yeah.
And Miss thought, I could be paraphrasing it, and God rest her soul, I don't want to misquote her. I'm pretty sure she thought the first time, and other teachers did as well the first time, the kid's in there. No one was ever in there.
Jesus.
And then Mr. Gillespie told the crazy story about the daytime story. So Mr. Gillespie, still alive. Shout out to you, Jimbo. I know you watched some of them. Jimbo, he was we didn't get him for teaching, but he used to run study hall.
Yeah.
Because we were fucking dead shits and we had free periods, so he'd make sure we did our study. But he told us the yarn. So he went into school during the school holidays, and fuck, there's a few more I got to tell you now that they're coming. But he went into the staff locker room and the staff lunchroom, and it had 2 windows on the side of the building. It had a door on the other end, and then it had a wall. So like, there's only 2 windows essentially that can let in like a draft, because that door just opens up to another room that has 2 small windows. So he said he had his daughter there with him and his daughter's best friend. She was like 14, 15 at the time. He opens up the door and the door slams on him. And he goes like, oh, sweet, the windows are open. Like, it's daytime. And Jimbo's like a proper Donnie. Like, he used to run businesses before teaching. Like, he just did teaching to teach, like, enjoyed it. Anyway, he's a big boy as well. He goes to like open the door again, and then the door slams, and then he lets go, and the thing's like the handle's rattling.
Yeah.
And then he's like, his daughter's freaking out. He's going like, what the fuck? Like, he was saying to us, he's like, I'm trying not to show my daughter I'm a coward, but he's going, in my head, there's someone on the other side of the door, so I'm gonna have to go this bloke. And then he said he pushes, and it felt like a proper like prop-sized bloke is shouldering the door in. Eventually, like on the 4th or 5th go, he opens the fucking door. Both windows are fully locked. The other door's locked. But the thing about this wall that I mentioned, that's all glass. So he would see anyone quick enough, because he's doing it so quickly. He would see anyone quick enough, like somehow, if they've sprinted to the other side of this fucking lunchroom, he can see like the back of them. He opens up, there's no one there, and he says it's one of the fucking coldest rooms. Aircon was not on, and it was the middle school holiday, so it'd been off for a week.
That's fucked.
It's fucked, eh? And then there was another one actually. It's crazy. So we had this thing called the grotto. So our driveway was over 1 kilometre long. And on the left, there was this old like dirt grass field. They've done it up now. Fuck yous for not doing it up while we were there. But it was just dirt, right? But we'd have to play, you remember like Wednesday sport or whatever it was? Like your whole grade would get the sport day. But there was like this stone on the end of the oval. We never knew what it was. It was like this little, like 3 stone stairs onto like this big stone platform. Turns out it was a grave, apparently. At the end, like late at night, Miss Preston said she's seen someone standing on it multiple times. Other teachers vouch for it. And the thing was, the teachers never correlated the stories. So they'd all have like a little bit of a different thing unique to their experience of the story. So it never like, they all had their own experience, but it was never out of like the storyline.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Bro, some of those stories were fucking.
And this is your school?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, man.
Yeah, well, it was a priest monastery, man. So
Jesus.
like, God knows how many probably like possibly neck themselves. God knows how, like, bro, a bunch of blokes living together. I don't care if you're a priest or a monk. Some shit probably happened. Like, you'd bust up shit, especially back then. There's no like law. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Back then, it was a different thing. Yeah.
But even they had a what's it called, a weir. So where they'd like collect like fresh water and all that. And we went down there one day, and even that was that is so eerie down there. That's the middle of the bush, but in the bush, and I've had it before, and this sounds so stupid to say out loud. You can tell when something's dead because it's eerily quiet. So like sometimes I've been in the bush, found a dead kangaroo. It's very quiet around, or it's just a crow or like birds eating it.
Yeah.
Down at the weir where it's flowing water, it's fresh water and it's pumping and it should be full of life. It's like there's not like much sound at all besides the water. Jesus. It's real weird, man. It's real weird, that school. That's where, I think I took Ben there when I was like 18. Yeah. But yeah, man, it's a weird fucking place. But I miss doing that shit.
Yeah, it's good times. And then once you get older, though, you're like, oh, shit, man. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't want to fuck with anything.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck with no spirits or anything like that. But, yeah, fuck, man. Seems like you had fucking some stories to tell, bro.
But that was the teachers, bro. But we had one where we were there. They ended up putting security in there. But there are... The one under the bell tower is like, I've felt that before. It is fucking cold. Whatever it is It is like just so eerie.
Yeah.
But there's no, so the school's been redone up. So we had bushfires affected. We had arson affected as well. So there's a bunch of new buildings. No one ever, ever, ever says anything about them. It is only the sandstone building that anyone ever has anything with. And like the old stuff that still remains around the school. But the abandoned building stuff, yeah, I remember we didn't really get chased out. We had a few like blokes who'd live across the street or whatever, like have a word with us. We had cops. There was a few times where we thought cops rocked up for us, but they were just in the city doing their job. And we'd like run out of the building, and they're like, obviously they'd look at us and they'll be like, "What the fuck are those guys doing in there?"
We had one time we tried to get into this building. I'm not going to name what it is because it's still standing. And we tried. This is the one that I've tried to go into 8 times and failed every single time. Anyway, so we get out and we're sitting at this bus stop, and this like car pulls up on the other side of the road. And mind you, this is not like just a road, like a suburban road. This is like a sort of like a main road, right? So cars are passing past. So for him to park up there and walk across the road would take a bit of time. Anyway, so car parks across the road, and like he just slowly like just like parks. Stays in his car for a bit, and me and my mate are just sitting at the bus stop, just looking at this car, and then I'm like, this is pretty weird, right? He's just stopped in the middle of a main road, and he gets out, and it's a security guard. I was like, okay, this is not good, because we just triggered an alarm. Yeah. So like, you know, and we're sitting at the bus stop across the road from we just triggered the alarm, and we're just sitting there, and this guy then just locks eyes with us and just attempts to cross the road. At this time, a fucking bus rocks up, and I don't know where this bus was heading, but we fucking took the bus and just rode it down somewhere, bro. But if that bus never happened, I reckon we would have had to just leg it or just fucking face this fucking. But I don't know how he managed to like single us out. Like he fucking just locked eyes on us, bro, and had the fucking dirtiest look. This guy just starts walking towards us. And we're just like, oh, fuck, this is our bus, bro. We got to get on this shit and fucking leg it. So, yeah, it was. There's been some moments like that. There's been moments where I've had to, fucking run. I was like Germany. I've had a few moments here. I've had moments here where I fucking had spiders on my shoulders, bro. I had one. I was urbexing and always carried a backpack around. I'm arachnophobic. And we're just chilling in this like open area. It's this was a hospital, and this is like an open cafeteria area, and we're just all chilling there, and I'm like looking around. I see this like shadow on my shoulder, and I look down, fucking Huntsman there, bro. Fucking shat myself, bro. Pulled it off, bro. Took my bag off, ran out. I was like, shit, man. That's one thing I don't like about urbexing, is that because you got to go through abandoned stuff. Obviously, everything's dilapidated, and there's just going to be fucking shit everywhere. That's why you cover your fucking face with asbestos and crap, spiders, man. But I just go through all that shit and just love it, you know?
I think it's because we push in like inherently doing like going to places you shouldn't go.
It's adrenaline.
And it's just, bro, it's
adrenaline.
It's pushing that like we live in a free country, of course we do, but we also live in like a very nanny state.
We do. It's pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
And it's, again, illegal freedom is...
Especially at the ages of like 15 to 20.
Yeah.
Like 21, you start to be like, it's cool, but I got to be a man. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, like 15 to 20, you're like, fuck, like that is...
I'd still want to do it to this day. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I love it.
Look at us. We're in nostalgia right now.
I'm in nostalgia. I fucking love it. And I think there's a thing for it here. Like, if you do it properly, there's heaps of stuff.
The Spaniard thing, for me, I feel like for a lot of people, first of all, there's multiple categories it falls into. Me and you watch it, reminds us of us, like once upon a time. Second one is there's people that never, for whatever reason in life, they've always been scared to push boundaries.
Yeah.
It shows them what it is like to do it. Mm-hmm. Third of all, there's just curious people.
Yeah.
That just love, and there's just I feel like it's just there's a lot of people in the world that love like abandoned stuff and the stories behind it. You see it on TikTok. I'm not sure if it pops up for you.
Yeah, it does.
Especially in America, you get like
America's fucked though. Like America has the worst haunted places I've like ever seen on fucking on like urbexing shit.
And you get the mansions left behind.
You get the mansions left behind as well.
You ever see that guy on Rogan? What the fuck was he called? Oh, something cowboy. Oh shit. Bro, he has this story. I'm going to get his name up. So that way it's on record for future reference. But he's this guy, and he lives in Florida, and they have a problem with pythons.
Mm-hmm.
Is it python cowboy? Fuck.
Python cowboy.
He has it's something, but he, oh God, I don't know. Cowboy Rogan, maybe that'll work. Bro, he has this story. So he lives in the Everglades, and python cowboy. Fuck, I nailed it.
Look at that.
Right, he has this crazy story of. So he goes out into the Everglades. His job is literally kill pythons.
Yeah.
Because they're invasive, and they're killing so much of the natural flora and fauna. And he kills all the invasive species, but he went viral because of everyone's so scared of snakes. Like this guy's just fucking man because pythons don't kill you, unless they strangle you. So he's manhandling and whatever. He tells this story of this place he went to on his drive, and he went out there, and I'm gonna fucking paraphrase the shit out of this. He goes out there and he's walking in, and there's a doll with no head on it to like the left of him, and he notices it, and he walks into this building. It's demonic shit everywhere. Crazy signs. He videos it, bro. He's got a vlog of it. No shit. He's walking through the building. The exact same doll pops up right in front of him.
Fuck.
And then he leaves and he's driving back. And bear in mind, this is in Florida, the back ass of the Everglades.
Yeah.
There's nothing really in Australia you can compare that to be honest.
Nah. You could probably just say the outback, but it's a completely different environment.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And so he's driving along like this gravelly road, and this car comes past, and they stop and they talk to him, and he goes, bro, like he tells Rogan, he goes, there's something in those fucking eyes those people had that was wrong. He goes, there was something that they knew something about where I was, and they were like checking up on me to like make sure like, first of all, I didn't fucking die, or they were pissed off and they were like genuinely like very unhappy that I'd visited, but they didn't want to give it away because they saw I had a camera, whatever it may have been. Bro, this guy, it's one of the craziest yarns. I never forgot it when I heard it. And I saw it on TikTok first, listened to the episode. He talks about like all the flora and fauna, but that part of the episode where he tells that story is just so insane. Bro, and like if you know anything about the Everglades, like even from me, I've never even been to America, but like knowing that landscape, like how fucking etched that would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause we have some we have some coastal towns that are pretty derelict. But they're so far away. Apparently there's some mad outback towns that are fully abandoned.
I'd love to go to the outback and shit, but it's so fucking dangerous out there. Like,
yeah,
it's like the fucking outback, man. That's why no one lives there.
Yeah,
you got to be you got to have a local to go there.
Did you see that Netflix doco of that town that had 11 and one of them died?
Oh, that's the Australian town. It's fuck. It started with T or something.
Tafala or something.
Tafala something. Tagala.
Oh shit!
Like
we're on.
Tagala, I think. Tarala.
11 people town. One goes missing. Netflix.
Tarala.
All right. So what's your? Larimer.
Larimer. Fuck. For some reason I had T.
Larimer.
Yeah.
So keen to watch that. Eh?
Yeah. My missus was watching it. I was like eyeing it. It was just pretty interesting. I didn't in depth watch it, so maybe I should actually watch it.
Yeah. Now I wanted to ask you about something, bro. Jason Derulo. Did you walk into that room in character?
Yeah.
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 Does that make that interaction 10 times easier for you? That you're Shak and not Dior the whole time?
Yeah. Well, I like told him, I was like, look, because I didn't want to disrespect him, obviously. Because there's all these like entourages there, and I was like, okay, well, look, I'm just the shoes and stuff was like improv. Pretty much the whole thing was improv. Like I got there and I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I wanted to do something with Eshe. So I was like, look, I'm going to be a nuisance, and you just follow along, bro. Yeah. Like I'm just gonna do that, and then just all improv, and he was a good sport about it. So
what was he like after?
Yeah, he's just chill dude. Yeah, like I mean, he had all these like I wasn't the only one that was there. You know, there was other creators doing that stuff. So
smart, bro, smart on his end. Whoever organised it.
Yeah. So very smart, but he was a good sport about it.
Yeah,
respect to him.
Yeah,
all these creators just ask him questions, dancing with him, like, and then this idiot comes along and starts telling him how to gabber and stealing his Versace slides or Dolce & Gabbana slides or whatever the hell he had on, and then trying to run out.
Did you ever go to DEF CON?
Nah, I don't go to like concerts or anything like that. So.
DEF CON was a kilometre that way.
Yeah, my mate went.
Yeah, it was like we used to go to lookouts in the mountains and listen to it.
Shak.
Yeah, but fuck laddies, man. That was the only thing Penrith really had going for it, knife life wise. Man, it would be unreal to go to a festival half an hour away from where I live. But
Fucking hell.
yeah, she took it away. Now I wanted to ask how, like, when you're in public, how are you finding like interactions, and do people come up and like do the impressions to you and shit like that, or do they like try and push you to do them?
Well, there's a mix of people. Like some people come up and do their own version of it. Sometimes some people are just pretty good sports. Some people like want a photo. Some people just like shake my hand, say just keep doing what you're doing. Some people say, can you do the impression and stuff like that. It just depends. Like I get a wide range of like interactions. Yes. But I happy to like, say hi to everyone, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like be anyone's puppet or anything. So if I'm not like feeling the character, I'm like, there's no hard feelings. I'm just not gonna do it or something. If I'm like in a rush or something, or if I'm like with other people, I'm not gonna, maybe do a little quick one, but I'm not gonna like be someone's puppet to, be like, oh, do this, do that, and it's like, no, man. I feel like,
yeah, my name's Dion. Or Shak,
yeah, just like trying to be myself. But I don't want to like push anyone away or anything like that. It's just, sometimes you just want to keep it to yourself, I guess. So
110%.
No hard feelings.
Now, one last thing before I got another thing after this one, but this question I really wanted to ask: do you see and I feel like I know what the answer is based on our conversation so far. Do you see the current catalog of content as a resume for larger jobs such as movie or TV shows? Because, bro, you did well. The Brothers video clip, like you did like very well, like your role in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I honestly, my main goal is to try and make it into the media, but it is such a like, I don't know what the word is, but the industry is so,
Shit show.
It's a shit show. Yeah. You got to kind of sell yourself to the thing, and I never want to do that. I always want to keep it real. If you want me, I can provide you with me, and I'm not gonna change that for anything. I don't care about your agenda or what the fuck you stand for, bro. Like if you want views, if you want the real deal, like I can give you that, but I'm not gonna change the agenda for any of your bullshit. So I'm not gonna go into politics of it or whatever the hell you want. I'm gonna be me, and that's the way I'm gonna act. There's nothing beyond that. I'm not trying to offend anyone with it. It's just what it is on screen. That's it. Yeah. But I feel I'd love to be in like, I'm in the process of trying to organize, or like in the very early stages of trying to develop my own sort of TV show, trying to develop a pilot first with a lot of other creators, not a lot of, but like a few other creators, and see how that goes, to then showcase to these corporations to be like, well, look, we've released this pilot episode on YouTube and it's got this many views. Just imagine if you guys took over the production, well, like if you handle the sort of production of it,
and the cost.
Yeah, and we did everything else. We did the script writing and producing and all that crap. Just imagine how good it would be, But they won't budge for that, like, because they'll be like, it's a bit, you shouldn't say that. Maybe we should change this up. Maybe we should include this person and stuff. Like it's very in Australia, it's very, very difficult. There's just that Screen New South Wales and all that crap. It's like, I don't want to like bash Superwog for it, but like his mini series it didn't feel like Superwog, if you know what I mean. Like it just didn't, like everyone says the same thing. I think if it's an ABC or SBS thing, whatever he has, but full credit to the guy. Like, there's no bashing. He's still the GOAT, but it just didn't feel like Superwog to me. Like it wasn't him. It felt really, pushed back a bit from that. Maybe because of SBS and ABC, they were like, maybe limit to what you can like say and do. So I don't want that. I want if we're going in, bro, we're fucking going in. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want that bullshit agenda that they have to meet because of their investors or some shit. I take a fucking risk, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, and don't. The problem is, bro, people like when they get cancelled. So some people genuinely deserve to be. Some people are fucked up people.
Yeah.
But like, there's jokes and stuff, and bro, often people get offended on people's behalf, which is fascinating. But when people apologize, you then say, "Oh, you were right," and you give power to that person. Whereas if you just that's the joke we ran, whether you like it or not, fuck it. You see it with like Shane Gillis. He's taken off recently because like he just fucking unapologetically just says what he wants, whether you like it or not. And you know what I mean? I feel like that's the same when it comes to modern media. But I also think there's power in keeping the show to your YouTube and making money off the back of that through merchandise, through doing live shows, taking it on tour.
Of course. Yeah.
I say that to people a lot when other people I've met that have like gone, oh, I want to pitch it to this business. I go, bro, to be honest, if you figure out a way to keep it to yourself and you keep your own royalties, that's the big thing. Same with, I deal with a lot of like musicians. Royalties is a big conversation we have. Okay, like that's where, you become a lot more powerful of your own life.
Yeah, well, that's what I want to do. Because, why go for someone and meet their standards when you can create your own sort of standards and you create your own media? Like everyone, like how many people do interviews on the streets these days? There's so many more journalists. Like John Bernard is a great example of this. He's thick in the media. And
Spaniard, man, going
Spaniard
into the
as well, like going into the hoods. All of this stuff is just great. It's just so much better than fucking what they show on TV and what they show on the dumb news. Yeah. Like I hate watching all that crap. YouTube, it will always be here to stay. And like the film and TV industry, just like there needs to be like, it needs to get taken over by creators.
Especially with YouTube being installed as an app on TV. That changed the game for a lot of our gen.
Yeah, 100%.
TVs were no longer just Netflix and then news.
100%.
Whatever, or Fox.
No one watches reality TV or news anymore, bro. It's bull crap. Everyone gets it off TikTok or someone else.
Yeah, what's that fella's name? That young...
There's a young guy that does it, yeah.
He's good looking, blonde hair, blue eyes, and he has like a room. He has that coloured lights on it. He goes, this is what happened today.
Yeah.
That's like the future.
Yeah.
And that's also like one of the most positive aspects of TikTok.
Of course.
Is guys like him who know how to market towards our generation.
100%.
But deliver useful
information, not propaganda. That sort of crap. Be real, not biased, and all that crap. Because these media corporations, they'll fucking kill you, bro. They'll go after you. They have an agenda to meet, bro, and I'm not going to be part of that crap. You know, I want to create my own like sort of story, my own life, my own films, TVs, and stuff like that. It is very difficult, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll have to go overseas for that because Australia's not giving it to me. So
100%.
So we'll see.
Now, before we end, the man in the room over there, young Ben, he helps out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Ben, when he gets older, he wants to be an entertainer.
Mm-hmm.
He's older, he's 21.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to be an entertainer. So I thought, this is impromptu to both of you, live. I was going to get Ben in here to ask you a few questions because he often sits in and he listens and he's in there and he can hear it. But he's never had he interacts, but he never gets the opportunity to sit down on camera and ask questions that he maybe wants to ask as he tries to pursue his goals. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to swap out with Ben.
Go ahead.
On my behalf. Thanks for hopping on.
Thank you for having me, yeah.
All right, Ben, we're still running. Don't you fucking end anything, brother. This is going all on the podcast.
How are you?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good.
Pod's going good.
Pod's going great. Yeah, just chilling. This is a
Ben
nice,
sort of?
like, laid back pod, you know.
This is my debut.
Debut.
Yep.
Welcome.
Questions.
Fire away, man.
How do you stay consistent? Like, what motivates you to stay like consistent with uploading and whatnot?
I guess I just have a schedule. Like every Monday, I'd have to deliver. You know, it's like, if I miss a Monday, I'd feel so guilty for the real fans that are waiting for a video.
Yeah.
So, I haven't missed a Monday, although I didn't release on the 1st of January. Obviously, it was the New Year's Day, but I just took a break for myself and my mental health. But I didn't miss a Monday for like 2 years. So sometimes like your video isn't going to perform. Some may not. You might go through a drought. You might go through a real good high. But as long as you're like playing in the game, like that's all that matters. Because all it takes is one video, one moment to really, put yourself up there.
Do you have like certain days where you put it away for recording, like content and stuff like that, or do you just let it come naturally?
I let it sort of come naturally. I don't have like a set date that I'm like, okay, today I'm script writing or anything like that because my mind is rushing 24/7 with like creative ideas. Some may not be the best ideas, but I still jot them down anyway. Maybe come back later to them if I have like a spark of creativity on that sort of idea. But to me, I just like at the moment I am writing a few scripts because I'm going to Melbourne, so I'd like to backlog a bit, and I've just been a bit busy with a lot of stuff. But usually, yeah, just like an idea would come, or I'd look back through my other ideas. Like I have like 200 plus ideas, but some of them obviously, as I said, are not going to work. So, but sometimes I'd go back on them, see if I can work with them.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll just like go for a walk or like gym, do something different, and then maybe an idea would spark from there. But I don't really have like a set date where I'm like, okay, I just gotta
Do it and then
do it. Yeah, like
gotcha.
sit down and brainstorm. My brainstorm is constant, like just rush of ideas. Yeah.
Do you have like plans like in the future? Do you like, does it come across your like brain to like talk to like to do content with other people to help like build your platform? Or does it like, do you sort of let that come to you?
I'd like to do a lot more stuff with a lot of other people. Like I'd love to collab. I've obviously been collabing with John recently,
Yeah.
and I love it, man, because for me, as I was speaking earlier, I don't have anyone to bounce off ideas. I act myself to myself, so it's really hard to bounce ideas off someone.
Yeah.
So to have someone like John, it's nice to have someone like you can work with and build from and stuff like that, and generate ideas from that, and it keeps you motivated and keeps you on your feet to kind of keep pushing forward, even though like right now my YouTube like views aren't doing the best, but there's no point in giving up. I've got on this far. I just know like I'm just in a drought at the moment, and all it takes is one video. I've just got to keep playing the game. Like that's all it is. You can't be down on yourself, and you can't look at how other people are performing or anything like that. You've just got to stay in your lane and just do you and keep working, because at the end of the day you're learning throughout your entire career. There's never a point where you're like, okay, I've finalized it. This is how it is. It's always learning with doing content or being creative. It's just a constant like circle of learning and winning. That's
Do you reckon the like the short form like content, even for YouTube, like as you were saying before, how like the long like half an hour videos back in the day and stuff was the way to go. Do you reckon like the short, like under 10 minutes is the way to go nowadays, or do you reckon just like...
Look, it depends what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, vlogging style, you can get a 10-minute plus vlog. For my skits, I'm like not trying to, like, I don't want to go overboard, and like my max would probably be like 8 minutes, but like that was like back in the day. Right now I've shortened it down just in terms of editing skills, but like no more than 5 minutes is pretty good. Like 5 minutes is probably the max for like a skit, but it just depends what you're doing. If you're doing like reviews or like podcasts, obviously they're a bit longer. It just depends what like niche you're in. This really depends. You can cut clips from a 5-minute video and make them into like shorter things. Like what I normally do, what I'm doing right now is I would make a long video and then just kind of think of how I can make it shorter, just for like
cut it up a bit,
cut it up, or make a completely different scenario, but still in that sort of video concept, and just try and see how I can, put it onto the shorter platforms like TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts.
How often do you try and get those clips from regards to YouTube? Like how often do you try and like put those clips onto like TikTok and stuff like that?
If you can do it every day, like TikTok and Reels is completely different to YouTube. YouTube is a game that no one understands still. Like TikTok and Reels, I tell everyone this, it's so easy. Yeah. Really, really easy. YouTube's harder. Like try and grow that sort of platform on TikTok first, and then channel that into longer forms videos on YouTube, because that's the hard part, and it's more rewarding. But trying to get the gist of things, being comfortable creating the content, comfortable facing all the adversity and all negative shit that comes with, people out there. Get comfortable with that, and then try and channel that into more like professionalism style videos on like YouTube, longer format, maybe expanding it, stuff like that. But I tell everyone TikTok Reels is so easy. Like if like you can release a video at 6 p.m, it doesn't matter what day, like it could perform. The algorithm is completely different. It's in your favor. Like all you got to do is just post on that platform. With YouTube, it's a bit harder, because when you think about it, people who watch TikTok and like Reels and Shorts, they're not really sitting down and planning to watch a video like YouTube, like people would sit down and watch YouTube. They'll turn on the TV, get the YouTube app, and then scroll through and be like, okay, I want to watch a bit of this today. On TikTok, you're either going to work, you're on your lunch break, you're on the shitter. Yeah, like you're not planning to watch the videos. It just so happens to thing, and then you scroll past the video and it's onto a next one. It could be a cooking one, and then you go into it, and it could be someone fucking wakeboarding. I don't know, like something random, right? Yeah. But with YouTube, it's completely different. You have to kind of grab the attention of the audience and make a connection with that. Yeah, build that connection. So
yeah, sweet. All right, cheers.
No worries.
Thanks for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having me. Yeah.
Huh? Oh, thank you for watching Helos and Homies. Shak killed this one. This is my first time signing off, but thanks for watching, and have a blessed day.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's it.